Do you know what it's like to have to run tech and move in front of the camera at the same time?
We're doing this. Oh no! It's
Oh,
that camera over there.
no, no camera over there. No camera over there. Hey, friends, happy Friday. You're a goofball. What are you doing?
Hi everyone. Hello. Can you see me?
I'm David Pumpkins. All right, so last week we were talking about using the long arm on a live stream. And so obviously we have figured out the tech to do that. So we've got a little bit of a, ooh, are you lightheaded?
Stars.
It's probably from when you fell while you were sitting down.
That was yesterday, day before yesterday.
He was sitting on the ottoman. I'm sitting here, he's sitting on the ottoman, and we're talking about like some podcast stuff or whatever. I don't remember what it was.
What we were talking about.
And just while he was in a sitting stance, I just hear him go, whoop! And he fell off of the ottoman while in a sitting position and not even moving. How does one do that?
It's a talent. It's a talent. It's a talent.
It's a talent. It's a something. It's a something.
It's a talent.
All right, so...
if we keep looking up here, it's because...
Yeah, but so we did the tech. We did the tech. We got you here. We got you on the long arm, which we're really excited about. We have Command Central at my workstation, but on the TV on the wall, we have the camera like mirrored our desk, my laptop up there, so we can see the video and we can see the audio and we can see the comments. So if we do this, it's because we're reading your comments. Kim Martin says it's her first time here as a VIP member. Hello, Kim. Thank you for joining the live stream and thank you for joining my VIP membership. Ian, your sound is low. Oh, because he doesn't have his microphone on.
I turned it off when I took the dogs out a moment ago, and I was worried that you were starting the live stream, and I didn't want them to hear me. All right, back inside.
Well, now, you are way hot. Like, you are hot.
Wow! Look at that. Wow.
Look at that.
Sorry, everyone. Apologies.
Yeah, I don't think you are sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, I know my voice does not project into the microphone as loudly as Ian's does. It's because he has the bass.
Yeah.
All about
The bass. The bass.
No trouble.
No trouble. Is it trouble or trouble?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
All right. So last week we promised you we were going to bring you onto the long arm, and you've taken it down.
Taking what down?
The quilt that I had hanging on my shelves forever. Do you want to? Because he's got it ready.
Because I've got everything ready.
He asked me if he could load the quilt before the live stream tonight, and I said no. Let's show them the entire thing. Like, let's get it all loaded. Let's do all the things, and so that's what we're going to do tonight. Ian, I'm going to step out of the way so that you can show them. Here, I'll help you. Let's show them the quilt that you want to quilt, and let's talk about the quilt, and let's talk about the backing, and then we'll walk them through what we're going to do to get this going.
Okay. So many of you may remember this. This is the Continuum Quilt that Threadlines had the kit for.
And it's wrong.
I was like, we can go that way too. That's fine. This was a Continuum Quilt from Threadlines. They had kits put together for it. And Becca and I and Tiffany, Tiffany got the free pattern because it is a free pattern.
Yep.
But Becca and I purchased the kit. I think Mary got one too, if I remember correctly, at QuiltCon. And
she might be bringing it with her during the holidays.
Yeah.
I need to piece this and quilt it.
And quilt it. So today we're going to work on getting it quilted, and we are doing something that I've never done on the long arm before.
Minky. And if you could feel
it feels so good.
Soft goodness. Oh my goodness.
It feels
so nice.
good.
So nice, yeah. So he's not loaded Minky on the machine before. He's not
Nope.
quilted with it either. I have, though I'm new to all of this. So great for quilt backs, long arm quilting, queen size fitted sheet with up to 13. What?
A 13-inch mattress depth.
So apparently it can be a sheet.
Well,
that caught me.
Well, because it's 90 inches wide by 108. Okay. So it is a big piece of, and the official Shannon Cuddle is what it is, and it. Oh my gosh, it feels so good. It feels. I just want to sit here and hug it because it just feels so nice, and I. Oh right. Anyways, so. Yes, Mary did get one at QuiltCon. She's saying in the chat. So she has one as well, and she may be bringing it up to do the things with. So,
Okay. So why don't we get started? We're going to open up the cuddle, and we're going to load it onto the long arm.
that word popped really well.
So I do it all the time.
I was like, what are you looking at?
The rule with Minky and the rule with any backing when I'm loading it onto a long arm is I always try to put the selvage on the bars.
Yep.
I don't know if you're really supposed to do that. So listen, if you're a long armer, I'm not looking for the quilt police here. I'm just telling you what I do. It might be right. It might be wrong. I'm just giving you some information. So a couple of things that we'll need to pay attention to. One, we want to find the selvage edge, which is this end.
Okay.
I can tell from,
Yep.
right?
That would be it.
And I want the fun, soft side down when I'm quilting, because that's going to be the back of the quilt. So this needs to be up. So
We also have to make sure the nap.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because if you go this way with it, it gets all ruffly. If you go this way with it, it's nice and smooth.
Okay, so Ian, let me rock your brain for a minute.
Okay.
Does that quilt have a top or a bottom?
No.
Okay. The selvages are going to go onto the long arm.
Uh-huh.
So we don't care.
Oh, okay.
Right? And we don't care about the nap because we're not cutting this and repiecing it.
Well, that's true.
The
That
nap's
is
all
true.
going to go in the same direction.
That's true.
However,
That's true.
if we were going to cut this apart and repiece it,
Yeah.
then yes, we'd want to make sure
Yeah.
that the nap. Don't make it more difficult.
Okay.
You're
all right,
pretty.
Sorry.
do
Well,
that
I don't want the snap going sideways.
Well, okay, but here's the thing. Okay, so this is the way it's going to be loaded.
Okay. Is this the right? No. Look
Okay.
at that.
Well, we can load it the other way.
Because
How big is your quilt?
it's a thing. I don't remember. Mary, what's the size of the quilt?
You know, you made your pieces bigger
I
because you wanted it to be bigger.
No, I actually didn't.
Oh, okay.
It's the
Well,
same
then I made
size.
mine smaller because I apparently didn't want. I wasn't listening.
There it is. It's like the Three Stooges, except there's two of us.
It is about 60-ish wide.
Kira says that my long armor does the minky with the selvages on the side because of the stretch. Which...
I'm not asking for quilt police, Ian. I'm doing it my way. Wait, we got to measure the other way.
Oh.
Good grief. Okay. Because this is the way that I'm worried about, right? Okay, you should have enough. So here's why I was measuring it. You're good. Okay, you can take it down. Here's why I was measuring it. On that paper that you threw on my floor,
Yeah.
pick it up. On this paper, it says that it is 87 or 90 inches by 108. So the 108
would be
is
selvage to
probably
selvage.
going to be selvage to selvage.
Yeah.
And I would normally load it selvage to selvage,
Right.
just because
Right.
that's the way to do it. Now, yeah, there is stretch that way, not stretch this way. Okay, that makes sense. I see you, quilt police. Yeah, okay, I would load it this way.
Yeah.
What I wanted to make sure is that when we put it on the long arm, we have enough take
Right.
on either side.
Right.
Okay.
Yep, that makes sense.
So
Ooh, you're gonna have to run the robot tonight.
I'm not running anything. I'll just press the button. It'll do it
Right,
for me.
exactly.
So when I load my backing on here, I do this thing that Tiffany taught me. I get it set up this way. Now here's the problem. Pull. Yeah, see, it stretches. So we're going to have to be very, very delicate with this.
Yep.
It's got more stretch in it than cotton does.
Yep. Way more.
Yep. So just be delicate when we're putting the clamps on. What I don't know, ow,
What happened?
is this 108 to, is this 108?
No. That's not 108.
Hold.
What? Nope.
Okay, good.
Wait!
really
Yeah,
good.
it is.
I'm just trying to figure out like how we're gonna load the quilt. So
Yeah.
we can put the top at the top and the bottom at the bottom.
Yeah.
Stop petting the fabric.
Sorry. I'm sorry. It feels so nice, though.
That's not.
It feels so good.
Welcome to Friday Night's Live Stream, everybody. Where Ian pets fabric. You're welcome.
I like fondling my fabric.
Oh,
I can't help
gosh.
it. I can't help it. I like fondling my fabric. This side feels crazy, too.
So once I have that loaded, then I like to roll the back onto the front.
Bar.
None. I don't know. And I'm just going to be careful to not stretch it.
Yep.
I'm going to pull all that so there's no... Got so many blue fuzzies
I know.
on the floor.
Definitely pushing the button for the robot tonight, huh? Good job, little buddy. Have fun. Yummy, yummy time.
It'll be like Pac-Man. Nom, nom,
Nom,
nom,
nom,
nom,
nom, nom,
nom,
nom, nom, nom, nom, nom, nom. Oh, you're laughing at each other. Okay, cool. I saw a whole bunch.
Laughing at us.
No, there's like it's to Auntie L. It has the. But I saw a whole bunch of the laughing emojis, and I'm like, oh, they're laughing at us, but no, she's laughing at Auntie L or something.
Make them laugh at us.
I think we've done that quite a bit already. Woo! Auntie L, thank you, by the way, for the package. Appreciate it.
There we go. You need a life. I'm also the one that's been walking in going, I'm David Pumpkins.
Yeah,
Any
she did.
questions?
She did. She walked in like that. I'm like, what the heck? What the heck?
We need more red snaps.
Okay.
Your legit kit's in my way.
I know.
Okay, pull more.
Pull more. Oh, I caught my watch. Caught my watch.
So funny. You guys, you're in my... No,
Oh,
pull
this one.
towards you. Smooth out your ends. Get them nice and straight.
Well, that's not easy for me to do.
Keep going. That's good. You can take a little bit more if you'd like. Get this engine nice and straight.
Yeah. It's a little...
Wonky.
There we go. And then this side, there we go. Now we're getting in. Now we're cooking with gas.
Something.
I don't know.
Do you want to pull more?
I can.
Because I've got some
Yeah,
overhang.
yeah.
Go ahead, keep going.
Oh, we're going to have to clean your leaders and enders too. I just saw the fuzz on it. Woo! It's
fine.
fuzzy.
It's fine.
Let's see. Candace says, I may have missed it. Do you always use that foot when quilting?
Yes, I do with the robotics. I do. If I'm gonna do ruler work, I'll trade it out for the ruler foot. But
There it goes.
since I've gotten, I need more. I need another one. Since I've gotten the Pro Stitcher, all I've done is automation. I'm David Pumpkins. You guys, there was a skit several years ago Tom Hanks did on SNL. This couple was in an elevator, and it was they were supposed to be riding a ride at some amusement park that was scary, and the whole premise is in the elevator, it just kept stopping at a different floor. And sometimes you would have Tom Hanks in this pumpkin outfit pop up on the screen. And sometimes he would be accompanied by these two characters in skeleton outfits that were dancing. And sometimes he wasn't. And sometimes it was just the skeletons themselves. But then interspersed with that, there would occasionally be something really scary, like somebody with a Texas chainsaw or something. But whenever Tom Hanks's character came on with the pumpkin outfit, his dancing skeleton friends would be like dancing and singing weird, stupid songs, and then he'd come in and be like, I'm David Pumpkins. Any questions? And the two characters that were in the elevator riding the ride would be like, yes, actually, a ton of them.
Lots of questions.
So many questions. All right, Ian, now that we have your backing loaded,
Yep.
are you going to put batting in here too?
I
Okay.
am.
So why don't you talk to them about the batting?
So the batting is Quilter's Dream Bamboo. It is double, so 96 by 93. And I'm going to put this onto the thing.
Onto the thing.
Onto the thing.
You're so funny.
Onto the thing.
There we go. Where did you get, Sue is asking, where did you get your drawer units for under the long arm? Those are actually IKEA shelves. They're the 2x4 Talix units. And then I bought the drawer inserts and the door inserts.
Drawer in the door?
Yep. And I just laid the units on the side so they go 2 up and 4 across. And I have a 10-foot frame. I was able to fit 2 of them butted up next to each other, and it looks like a custom build.
Butted up.
You're weird.
You're welcome, everybody.
Made by Misty says, Friday night quilting with Abbott and Costello. You guys are a hoot.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Hey, y'all listen to the podcast. Y'all know what y'all are getting yourselves into.
Lori says, Ian, that is why you aren't supposed to wear jewelry around machinery. I almost lost a finger getting a ring stuck when I was working on an airplane.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I do have a watch, but that's it. When I worked at the theme park, I never did rides or anything like that, but I did work in entertainment, and I definitely did not wear any jewelry. In fact, it was company policy that you could only wear one ring on, like a ring on each hand, and that was it. Because they were worried about if you were working on any of the rides, stuff like that happening.
We have a very serious question from Sharon, who wants to know, hey, Ian, what are you on?
I am on YouTube and Instagram.
He is high on life. I have no idea.
All right, there we go. All right, so now I'm going to do the thingy thing.
Zaza says she has seen lots of people lose fingers to machines.
Yeah.
All right, so what we've done is kind of given you this 2-camera view setup so that you can see us as we're working on the machine, but also you can see the stitching as the machine is doing it. Now, I'm going to let you know, this is a real quilt that Ian is going to really use, and so he's not opting for the highest contrast thread. He's choosing what he actually wants to be on the quilt. And so he's picked, it's almost like a dove gray for the thread, and it's gonna blend in with the quilt top. It just is. It'll pop on the back, and you'll see it as we're advancing the quilt, but you're probably just gonna see texture go into the quilt, not anything else. So just wanna let you know. Cheryl says, Becca, I don't know how you get anything done with Ian around. He would have me laughing too much. Good vibes.
We have each other laughing. We crack each other up, to be honest. we end up making each other laugh. So
Lena Coleman says, hello from Alaska. I too was wearing a ring, and it got caught on a helicopter on a mast.
Oh my gosh.
And kept me from falling off, but almost took my finger off.
Oh my gosh.
And Mary's answered the chat for you. If you want to know what Ian's on, he's just on a supernatural high.
Yep. All right, so I've gotten the batting all done, so I'm going to run that line across the top.
Yep. So I'll kind of explain a little bit more about what he's doing while he's concentrating. Across the top here, I like to do just a straight stitch that goes parallel to the bar. And I use that as a registration line that helps me line up my quilt top and kind of keep it straight. And I don't know if you guys can hear us over top of the machine. If you could just put some thumbs up in the chat to let me know if you can hear us okay while the machine's running, that would be great.
Ooh, that is definitely not a straight line. That
it's okay.
got
It'll
curvy.
Be straightish.
Yeah.
Like you. I mean, or me, or all of us.
All of us. I don't know.
All right.
All right.
Why don't you just go back?
Oh, okay.
That'll just be easier than trying to cut the thread and everything.
Okay.
You're going to start from down there anyway,
That's
right?
true.
Give you a chance to make it straighter. Hello, Kathy. Okay, we got a couple thumbs up from Lori. Yep, I can hear. Good, good, good. Oh, we are not working on that Banyan Boutique. Hey, Mary, can you turn off the exclamation project command for tonight in the chat bot? Just because that's not what I'm working on. I don't want to confuse anyone. Thank you.
Yeah, that's not straight at all. Oh well. Oh well. Doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody's perfect.
All right, now we're going to put the quilt top on. I do not roll my quilt tops onto bars. I always float them. I just make really careful sure that I can, that I baste it every step of the way. So I'm just going to make sure that he has a good bit of excess off both sides of his quilt, and the top is straight-ish, right?
Yeah.
And we can check that through the registration mark that he just stitched onto the backing. But we can also look at the seams that are on the quilt and make sure that they're nice and even with the belly bar. Things look like they're even with the back. And if it's not, we want to get it straight now and just kind of push the quilt top up a bit. And we'll work all that fullness or
Wow.
anything extra in.
I did
It'll be fine. You're going to
really-
wash it right away.
Right, yeah.
It's minky. Like, the only way you're going to get away with this is if we would have put this in the dryer right away.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, looking at the registration mark, that registration mark is
yeah, it's fine.
way off,
That's
like
okay.
down here to up there.
But you're also crooked down here.
Am I?
Yeah. This seam is now straight.
Okay.
The only problem with that, though, is if we go up here, you have it
can't.
way up there.
Yeah.
So let's pull it towards you
Yeah.
a little bit so you don't end up losing that part of the
Right,
quilt.
exactly.
We'll put it so that there, that's good.
Okay.
And just make it look like as straight as it can. Push it up and away from us. Smooth it out. Give that a crank.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Now he's going to go ahead and baste this down. So when he bastes, what I do to baste is I go across the top of the quilt first in baste mode, and then I'll come down to the right side and I'll start at the belly bar and go up, and then I'll do the same thing from the left side, start at the belly bar and go up.
Ooh, I always hate this part because I will start to, there we go.
And we did turn off the lights on the Longarm because we felt like that was going to help you see what was happening a little bit better. We can turn them back on, but if we do, it's going to wash out the picture and you might not be able to see what the machine's actually doing in the fabric. So we cut all of the lights on the machine off and we just have the room lit up. Justine says, "Hi, you pair. Thanks for cheering me up tonight. I have been fighting a chest infection and feeling down. You all have made my day. Love you guys."
Awesome. I'm sorry that you're feeling bad, but hopefully...
So he's basting next to the quilt to come down, and then he's going to go over onto the quilt top and baste going up. Now he's stitching on the quilt top. And if he sees any wrinkles, like right here, he's just going to smooth that out. The scoop foot that we have on there does a really good job of, most of the time, not creating nips and tucks. It just smooths it out of the way. But also I find if I just put a little bit of pressure on the quilt as I'm doing the basting part, it kind of helps coerce. Same thing over here, basting towards him on just the batting. And now he's going to move over onto the quilt top and baste from the belly bar to the back. Is this Ian's first quilting? No. He has played around with the Longarm a little bit. In fact, if you noticed before we loaded everything up, there's a number of quilts on my shelving units, and those are his.
Some of them.
Some of them, well, yeah, I think a couple are mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's been playing around with it as he has time in the evening. So I'll pop over into the studio and do his thing. There you go.
There's a little tuck there, but
It's
that will
okay.
get trimmed off, so no big deal.
All right, so now the top is basted. Going forward, we're just going to baste down the sides. Every time we advance the quilt, We won't baste across the top again, but when we get to the end, he'll baste across the bottom of that. So we're going to show you every step of this. So unfortunately, the next piece that he's going to do...
It's on the computer.
It's on the computer. You're not going to see the computer screen. We're just going to talk you through what we're doing. So Ian, as you're clicking on the different things, will you tell them what you're clicking?
No. Yeah, of course I will.
He will, or I'll take him off the
I
Longarm.
will, of course, tell them what's going on. So what I'm doing is first we need to lay out the quilting area, like how much of the space is available, like where can this move without getting in trouble.
Right.
So I'm going through and I'm just going to give myself plenty. I always like to give myself plenty of space. Becca may not put this much space into it, but I like to give myself plenty of space just for any boo-boos or anything.
On Pro Stitcher Premium, which is what I have, this is called the quilting space. And that is basically your frame, the frame space that you're going to be able to use.
Yep.
And so I always try to go at least 2 inches off to either side, and I bring it as far down as I can. And then it draws a big rectangular box on there.
Yep. So now
he's setting his area, which is the area of his quilt top. And it's going to be kind of the same thing. He's doing a drop in the upper left-hand corner and a drop in the lower right-hand corner. And that's going to draw a pink box on Pro Stitcher Premium.
Which you
can't really see. But it draws a pink box that just highlights the area of the quilt top that's loaded up here. But before he does anything else, undo. You missed a step.
What did I miss?
You need to measure your quilt top because you didn't, unless you know how long it is.
No, I forgot.
So this is just a approximate measurement for us. We're not professionals. Don't try this at home. He's going to get an approximate measurement for how long his quilt is. I'll hold that for you. Probably would be easier to do this before we load it on the Longarm, but we keep forgetting to do that.
Yep.
So we do it now.
Well, we did, but then we forgot to write that number down.
That's right. And this doesn't have to be super exact. We just want to see what it's going to look like.
Oh,
so that's about 75. So I'm going to add about 2 inches to that just to give us plenty of room. So he's going to go into the area tab, and he's going to go into area, and he's going to modify the height to be 77. Because it was 75, we added 2.
There we go.
And then what that does is it shows a pink box that is the dimensions of the quilt top, truly. And it allows him, when he's going in and picking out his designs, to arrange it in the way that he really wants to see it on the quilt.
I always do that. I always forget to go back to select every time.
So while he's doing that, because you guys can't see, I will show you the design that he's picked. This, right here, is the individual design that's going to be stitched out. And when they all come together, that's what it'll look like over the whole quilt. Mary said your quilt is supposed to measure 60 inches by 72.
Oh.
Well, I'm here to tell you, Mary, it measures 75.
Apparently, I did something wrong somewhere.
I told you, these strips are thicker than mine are.
I guess so.
Probably only a ½ inch, but that would do it. Thank you, Mary. So he is right now picking out all of those, picking out that design element. He's messing with the sizing of those diamond shapes, the placement of the first row, figuring out where he wants the repeat to start. And then he's just going to fill everything in so it's all over the quilt top. And then once everything's in there, I know what you're trying to do. Are you trying to nestle them?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Did you write this down?
Uh-huh.
I'm so proud of you.
Sure did.
There you go.
So
go he has set it up so that they're offset. Row 1 is going to be starting with a full one, and then row 2 is going to start with a half of one, so that they're kind of nestling into each other.
3.18.
Brenda says, wow, that's going to be beautiful.
It sure is. 3.18. Oh, nope, that's not it.
Emma says, haha, my 3-year-old daughter saw me watching and said, there's a dad in the sewing room.
Joke's on you, I'm only a gunkle. No, yeah, definitely. Whoa, what happened?
Oh, just hit undo.
That was weird.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I know what I did. I know what I
Good,
did.
I'm glad.
I know what
you
I
don't even have to ask because you already know. That's when you know you're learning.
I know what I did. And it needs to go here. And close that out. And then we're going to
Judy
go.
says, Becca, you are such a great patient teacher. Great job to both of you. Thank you.
Yes, she is a great teacher.
Okay, and so then once he has his first 2 rows set up the way he likes, then he can just repeat those 2 all the way down the quilt. And that's what he's doing now, which again, I'm sorry you can't see the screen, but he's filling in that whole pink area that represents his quilt top. And then once that's done, he's going to baseline it to merge it all together, flatten it all down. And then he's going to go to the Modify tab and he's going to crop and close his edges. He's going to crop the outside and close his edges. And what that's going to do is crop the design so that it just focuses on that pink box that we drew at the beginning.
That's interesting.
And then he's going to look at it to make sure it's still what he wants.
We will be here until 5 a.m., just FYI.
He will, I would re-baseline at this point and I would save your workspace.
Save workspace and clear.
And if you guys want to see this, see another long arm video from me this week, I actually did a video where I walked you through step by step how I quilted a jelly roll race that my mom made for me. It's about a 12 to 13 minute video. The time lapse, it is definitely sped up, but it's not just a time lapse. I actually narrate and kind of watch and talk over the process with you. You don't hear the long arm. It's just a little bit of background music and me talking through it. My picture, it's like a picture in picture. So I would encourage you to check that out if you're interested in seeing how these things work. And if you like that format and it performs well, I have no problem doing more of that. But you guys got to tell me if you like it and you want to see more.
Okay, I think we're ready to go, yes?
Yep. Once he's done, he's going to move it to the upper left-hand corner of the quilt, which is where the stitching always starts, at least the way we load things. And he's going to hit start. He's going to hit the run button. And then it's going to ask him, are you sure you want to start? Is the needle up? Because I'm going to move the machine. He's going to say yes, proceed. And then it's going to put the thread down to pull up the bobbin. And he grabs the bobbin, and then once he's done, he hits resume. It's going to lock in the stitch, and it's going to start going. And at this point, this is where you kind of sit and watch and cross your fingers that everything's working the right way.
Yep.
And like I said, he's using a thread color that blends in with his quilt, mostly with the background. That thread might pop a little bit when we get to these colorful areas. So really what you're going to see is that texture is starting to come in. You can kind of already see the textures coming now, but you're not going to see the stitching because the thread just blends way in. Lena says it looks way too confusing. I'd be so lost. It's actually a lot easier than you think.
It is. It really is.
Those are the only steps that it takes to load everything in. And there are a ton of resources out there on Handiquilter's website and their YouTube channel. Adam So Fun has excellent videos.
Yes, he does. He has a lot of great videos.
Yeah. And you can get really advanced with this. Like I'm starting to play with the long arm and plotting out designs to go in a specific area of the quilt. So like where I'm at right now is not just doing an edge to edge. I'm putting quilt tops on there and saying, okay, this piece of fabric, I use the machine to measure that out, and then I go in and I pick out a design that I like, block design, whatever. I give it the parameters, and then I hit run, and it stitches out that design just on that piece of fabric, which gives your quilt a custom look without having to have the skill to actually do the beautiful quilting like Tiffany does. But I get the Tiffany effect. So there you go.
It's going, it's doing its
Justine
thing.
Martin says, I love that design.
It's a beautiful design. I'll bring it back up. Where did you put the thing? Here it is.
Oh.
I'll bring it back up on this camera so you can see. So it's going to do, it's doing a whole bunch of these. And it's going to look like that when it's all done. And the back side is going to be really textured because you've got that minky on the back.
Yep.
And it's going to look really cool.
You want to answer Jackie's question?
If I can read it.
She says, how do you decide what quilting pattern to use,
gosh.
assuming same things would apply to quilting on a domestic machine?
You know, it really, let's talk about this one. Let's talk about, Becca, why did you choose this quilting pattern?
Okay. So
For this quilt.
Mary's kind of close. Like, the first thing I'm going to do is make sure I like the design.
Yeah. Yeah.
But another thing that I do, and I got this tip from Tiffany, when I'm looking at a quilt, I want to look to see what element I want to pick out of the quilt. So I'm going to either look at the fabric and find an element that I really want to kind of mirror and mimic in my quilting, or I'm just going to look at the overall pattern or the layout and see if there's something that I feel like complements it. For this one, you can kind of see when I go in there, I did swirls and stars. And this is just an edge-to-edge all over quilt panto. It goes all over the unicorn, and I chose it because it looked like wind blowing with little stars, and the background fabric had those star pieces in it. So, oh, and Mary, you'd be proud. I have 2 of my 4 sides of my binding hand tacked down to the back.
And she says she doesn't like hand sewing.
I actually kind of do like it. Don't ever say you don't like something, because
You'll end up liking
you'll
it.
end up liking it. I don't know that I want to quilt an entire quilt, but
No,
I like the
gosh,
idea of
no.
putting the binding on the back by hand.
Yeah.
I know. Who am I and what have I done with Becca?
Right, exactly. All right.
Is this a complete system for a newbie long armor, or would you recommend a smaller system? So I think it depends on your budget.
Yeah.
With the system that I have, I got the Amara, which is a 20-inch long arm, and it runs Pro Stitcher Premium, but each of those come at a substantial price. I was terrified of the price point when I first bought the long arm, and so I stayed away from the automation and refused to buy it until the long arm was paid off. But for the price of just my machine, you could get from Baby Lock or Handiquilter, you could get one of their entry-level long arms with automation on it, and you could do what you need to do. Now, I have heard that the Pro Stitcher Lite on the Handiquilter machines runs a bit slower. It takes a bit more time, and there are some features on Pro Stitcher Premium that you don't have on Pro Stitcher Lite, but I don't know what they are.
That's very strange, but okay, we're gonna just go with it. It's fine. What I just did is I moved it down to my next row, and for some reason it didn't want to make the jump to the next row, so I had to manually move it, move the start point to the next one.
Which he has gotten very familiar with how to do.
Yep, far too familiar to be honest.
I think that is the first lesson that I have learned, like have ingrained into my head, is how to reline up my pattern with what has already been quilted and find a new start point.
Yep.
Because you never know what's going to happen. Your thread will break, you run out of bobbin, the machine just decides that it doesn't want to work with you, whatever the case may be.
Yep, this is going to be the first row that has a full pattern sewn out on it. So we're going to see if it shows up.
Hello, Mom.
Oh, hey. Hi, Mama Nancy.
I like that color pink, by the way, that you're wearing.
That is so funny because everyone says that they love this color on me, and I never.
I just love the color. I don't care who it's on.
Oh, okay. Well,
But
would you? I could take it off and put it. But no, it's funny because I started wearing the shirt.
Has no shame.
I have none. I have no shame. Shame has gone way out. I used to take photos. My friends would leave their phones laying around, and you can take a photo without unlocking their phone. And I would take a picture of myself making a goofy face, and they were like, "We're gonna put this on social media," and I'm like, "Okay, I have no shame, so great, do it, post it." But yeah, it's funny because everyone's like, "Oh, I love that color pink on you. I think it looks good," and I never would have gotten this color of pink for myself.
That quilt top looks like the right side is lower than the left.
It is.
So just ease it in when you're working it up.
Yep. Yep. It goes a little bit.
That'll be fine. Also with this, it's not one of those that has to be perfectly straight. especially because it's blending in. So even if you continue to quilt it a little cockeyed, whatever.
Cockeyed, wonky.
Yeah,
You
have
tried to
plenty of-
mix cockeyed and wonky together.
I did. But you have plenty of backing to accommodate for that, so you should be okay.
I agree,
Hello,
Linda.
Sherman.
I agree.
Oh, everybody's saying hi to Mom.
Yep.
I saw somebody say hi to Mom, so I was like, oh, Mom's here. And Mary's politely telling everybody, she's not here.
Oh, never mind. I thought she was here.
I think I just saw somebody say hi, Mama Nancy.
Yep. I think I spaced that out almost perfectly.
Good.
Because with it, you have to, it tried to put it on top of itself, and I wanted to offset it so that they nested in with each other. And I think I got it almost perfect. It's not 100%, but it's pretty darn close.
The one thing I have noticed about you, Ian, when you load a quilt, you don't quilt it to death, but you do snug things up really tight. So when it's time for your quilts to run, I know it's going to be a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Like the long arms just occupado
Yep.
for a couple of hours.
It's true. It is true.
So chances are he'll probably not get this fully quilted on tonight's live stream, but you can see how he got it started. And if you tune in for the next podcast, I have a feeling he might be using it in our next episode.
I might throw it on once I get it, because I've already gotten the binding done. Thankfully, this kit, you use some of the scraps from the quilt to make the binding. So I already have the binding all ready to go, and I'll be able to sew it all together. All together.
Mom
Oh, there she is.
I am here.
She's lurking in the
lurking
shadows.
in the shadows. Hello, Mom.
Always watching.
So funny. So are there any questions that we can answer? Now we can say hi to Mama Nancy. That's right, Dad.
Hi, Mama Nancy.
Hello, Mother. Mother. That will look really good, Terry's saying.
It's looking really good. I'm really liking it. Yeah, Mary, she is here. Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay, Mary, we know.
I'm excited to get this quilted out. And I'm excited to get it done in minky, because I've never had a quilt that had minky on the back. So I'm excited.
When Tiffany was here, we made that one for my mom with minky on the back, and she loved it.
I know. I'm excited for that, because your mom let me snuggle up to it for a moment, and it was so soft. Brenda says, that's what I want. Are they around 10,000 or more?
So if you buy the Handiquilter, the Moxie with Pro Stitcher, it's about 10,000. And you can get that on a 10-foot frame, which is the same size frame that I have. It's just that the depth of the frame and the depth of the machine is not as deep as mine is. So you'll have to do more passes. And I think, but I don't know, I think it stitches a little bit slower, so it will take more time to stitch things out. That's what I've heard from other Moxie owners. But it's a long arm with automation, and it'll get the job done. Susan saying, Ian, I love the quilting pattern that you chose.
Thank you. I feel like as we get closer into the colored bars, you'll kind of see why I chose this pattern, because I feel like it's kind of mirrored in some of the fabrics.
That's right. Okay. So you have a question in the chat from Landa Rogers. She says, Ian, did you get your table and insert set up yet?
I did. I didn't get it set up. I did test it out. And I did get the table and I did get the insert, and everything works really nicely. I was worried because I don't remember who, but somebody in, I think, my live stream said to be careful because they have a Bernina and their Gidget 2 table doesn't quite, you can't access the bobbin very well. And so I was worried about that, but thankfully, I I'm able to access everything and it looks great. So I'm very happy with it and everything else. So yes, I did get it and I have tested it out and everything is really good. All right, so it is time to advance the quilt. And what I'm doing is I found a spot that I know is going to be just at the tippy top of where I want.
Wait, you're missing a step. Go back to the screen. There you go.
Yep. So I wanted to make sure to give myself plenty of room on the top when I advance the quilt. So I just put the needle down. Is it drag or drop?
It's called drag and drop.
Yeah.
There's a toggle that you can enable on Pro Stitcher Premium. It might be on Pro Stitcher Lite as well. You put your needle in a down position and then you turn that feature on. And then you go to your bars and you advance the quilt slowly because you don't want to rip your quilt. And it's going to pull the machine back with the weight of the quilt. If you drop the needle at the bottom of the very bottom of the last pass, then you know about how far up. Well, actually, I think you should do it at the top of any height. Anyway, yeah. When you advance the quilt, it'll keep the design and the machine lined perfectly. So once he gets everything where it needs to be and he's locked the bar, he's put his clamps back on, then he can bring his needle up and turn that setting off so that the design doesn't move when the machine moves. It basically just moves the design on the software the same way that it's moving when the machine moves.
Okay, so I've gotten everything about where I want it, so I'm going to drop it like it's hot.
Yep.
Drop.
And bring your needle up.
And bring the needle up. There we go.
And now you're going to go and base down the sides
Yep.
again. And I do try to start at the belly bar. And at this point, I'll look at the quilt to make sure that it's straight-ish. And if one side needs to come up a little bit more, like his right side is a little bit lower than his left side, I don't need to work all of that into the first pass. I just know that if I wanted it to be perfectly straight, that every time I advance, I probably need to pick up a little bit of the right side of the quilt and just work it in gently. And the sooner I start with that, the more room that I have to ease that side in, right? Without introducing the possibility of having any nips or tucks on the quilt.
Nip and tuck.
That's right. So why does that lighting bar come with the long arm, or is it extra? That was an extra purchase that I had. I actually like to have this on because it gives me a lot of fill light. So when I'm producing videos, it makes my lighting look a little bit better when I'm sitting at my desk. But I originally bought that light bar because when I bought my long arm, I was in a basement that did not have very good lighting and I needed light. I needed some bright light, and so I got that light bar. I had thought about not putting it up with the long arm, but it was, I think, a $500 purchase, and it does have an added benefit for video production, so I just put it back up when we moved into this space.
All right.
Oh, Mary, thank you for fixing the project command. What made you decide to get a long arm? I don't like wrestling the weight of a quilt, and I don't like basting quilts, and I don't want to crawl around on the floor to do that. I wanted to not have to do it, but I also wanted to be able to move the needle over the quilt rather than the quilt under the needle. And the long arm was the way that the long arm addressed all of those. Now, I got the automation because I don't have the skill set or the artist skills to be able to draw stitching onto the quilts the way I want them to. And that paralyzes me. And it's kind of a catch-22 because I know that the way to get better with that is to practice more. But I also know if I'm not doing it good enough and I don't like the way it looks, I don't want to, quote unquote, ruin a quilt. So
Yep.
it's It's a catch-22, and then I end up in this paralyzed state of fear where I'm not even quilting.
So now y'all are going to see some of the colored bars that are on this quilt. We're going to go through the full rainbow here in a moment. Well, over the course of this row, we're going to go over the whole rainbow of colors, and you'll get to see what they look like. Unfortunately, with this pattern, I'm going to have to advance with every row because the size of each row takes up the full space.
Sure. Barbara is asking, does the screen give you a measurements coordinate to know where to restart at? So the screen knows where to start and stop at. It knows all of that. But you do see crosshairs on the screen that represent where the needle is. You see a line that goes left to right and a line that goes top to bottom. And where those two lines intersect is exactly where the needle is. So you can always figure that out. Justine says, I quilt by hand as I don't have the space for a long arm. I like doing big stitch quilting by hand.
I think if I was to get a long arm, because I've played with this one for a bit, and I think if I was to get a long arm, I would probably get one with a bigger space, because I like big patterns and pantos, and so I hate having to advance so much whenever working with it. I would love to be able to get 2 rows of stitches done before having to advance.
Well, if you're going to go into this as a business, you're going to provide this service for people, then I would tell you get the absolute biggest frame you can get.
Yep.
And get the biggest throat space you can get.
Yep.
Because that's going to allow you to quilt bigger quilts, and you're going to be able to do less passes, so less manual intervention.
Yep.
I went with the 20-inch because I was already pushing my budget.
Yeah.
I was like, 20's fine, 20's fine, 20's fine.
And don't get me wrong, this still works great. Like, it's great to be able to quilt my own quilts in-house instead of having to ship them out. Mind you, I love Nancy. She's one of the quilters that I use, and I love giving her my business. I still give her my business. She currently has my gravity quilt. But for simple things that are not going into shows and they don't take a lot of work, then it's great to be able to do it here.
This is looking really good.
It is. I'm very...
I mean, look at that stitching. I like the design you chose.
Mary, I was not going to start singing that, but I can. Ian, where would you put a long arm? Jackie, I would not at the moment because there is absolutely no room for a long arm.
And why would you when you can come over and use mine?
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of, $15 for the panto, please. We're going to have to order more back.
I know.
Padding.
I know.
You're buying the next batch. Surprise.
Right. I did get this one done recently. Many of y'all have been on my channel and you saw me work on a Texas quilt, and I did go through and do some quilting on that. So you folded this so nicely.
Why don't you bring over some of the other ones that you've worked on?
Okay. Well, all of these are yours.
Okay, well bring my Continuum over.
I did do this one, but this was before you got the automation.
So, yeah. So this is my Continuum quilt. I think it goes this way. Trying to get the stitching in there. Can't really see it, but maybe that's better.
Hold it, tilt it, there you go. Yeah.
There we go. So that one's mine, it needs binding.
Angela asks, Ian, are we ever going to see your new space? You will, I promise. I still need to get it set up.
They've seen you sitting at your dining room table.
Yeah, right, yeah. I will get into my space at some point. It's just,
but
I have slowly been...
what the question is? Because maybe you're offering something that you won't do. Are they looking for a tour of your whole apartment, or are they looking for your sewing room?
I don't know. I'm assuming my sewing area.
Because that's what, when we're talking, like, I know that's what you mean, but
Yeah.
I wonder if they mean we want to see your whole apartment.
Right, yeah. Yeah, you won't see my whole apartment. I never showed my apartment when I was in Texas, and I
don't think
don't know.
you will here either. I know
Yeah.
you're a private person. You don't want people to see it, but you're happy to talk about your quilting space.
Yep, I'm more than happy to show off the sewing area once I get that done. But yeah, I will.
Show a picture of it in the podcast episode.
I did. I did show the very crowded, very cluttered space in that episode. Which, by the way, how many have listened or watched episode 3 that came out this week?
Debbie is saying, I have a gamel, and there's just something so cool about watching the gorgeous patterns come
I know. It's mesmerizing. Okay, I'm going to drop my needle, and I'm going to hit drag.
So Sherry is telling you, Ian, there's a black spot between the green and yellow strips. It's probably just a piece of fuzz from the Minky.
Yeah.
There's blue pieces of Minky fuzz all over the top.
Yeah, there's a lot of Minky fuzz everywhere. That is something that I've learned that Cuddle and Minky just shed everywhere.
Yep. Mary said, I think he's just waiting for me to come up and help him get it set up for him. I mean,
you're not wrong. Like, honestly, you're not wrong at all.
You're not.
I kind of have been in decision paralysis on that space because it is so awkward. I kind of have not.
Oh, she'll get it. She'll show you.
Yeah.
WDE, I thought I answered this because we talked about the light bar being a $500 added expense that I bought. It is an add-on. It did not come with the long arm. It was an extra purchase I bought from Handiquilter. Maybe with the stitching on the machine you didn't hear. Apologies for that. But yes, it is an add-on.
Yeah, I'm actually interested. Are y'all able to hear us okay? I know that the machine in here, Becca and I were talking about this. Becca mentioned to me, she was like, now I understand when I'm watching on social media, quilters quilting, they're always wearing the noise canceling headphones because it is so loud when everything is going. And I'm like, you know, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, drop. I got to make sure to drop. Yep. Drop it like it's hot.
Somebody's asking, Tammy Boyd said, how much does yours cost altogether, Becca? Well, keep in mind I spaced out the purchases. So I think for my long arm with the 10-foot frame, I did buy the electric channel locks, which I used for a while. Now I don't because I have the Pro Stitcher. And I bought the add-on light bar. And I think I even bought wheels, but I ended up not using them, and I gave them to Tiffany and she put them on her frame. I think I spent like $13-ish to purchase the long arm with the frame. And then once that was paid off, I purchased Pro Stitcher, which was, I got the show pricing on it. Normally it's like $12,999, but I got it for $10,999. So a couple $1,000s knocked off, and they came out and installed it for me for free. I can hear you just fine.
Perfect.
My computer is on TV. Everybody's saying we can hear you just fine.
Great.
And Mary is letting us know, Mary Jane Souza is letting us know that a lint roller will help with the fuzz.
Yep. All right. I'm going to go to the other side, and we're going to do this side.
Lots of folks are saying that they really enjoyed the podcast episode this
Excellent. I'm so glad. Y'all have made that, we say this all the time, but we truly, truly mean it. We thank y'all so much for supporting the podcast and making it as big of a success as it has been so far.
Karen Little says, I watched the 3rd podcast and thoroughly enjoyed it. I also watched the quilting video you did, Becca. It was great to have the narration. It gave me a lot better idea of what a long arm actually does.
Yeah. Double checking the pattern to make sure everything's within my window is. So I'm going to hit resume.
Judy's saying, does Tucker still quilt? I think you had him quilt before you got your own quilt frame. I had a long arm, but I still sent a quilt to him. And in fact, he even did a quilt for me on my long arm. I don't know if he quilts. I haven't talked to Tucker in gosh, I don't know how long. It's been a hot minute.
I haven't. We saw him at QuiltCon, but
Yeah,
that was like literally the last time I talked to him.
I sent him a couple of text messages.
Yeah.
I've not gotten a reply.
Yeah.
I think he's just so busy with his own life. You know what I mean? I think he's kind of lost his passion for YouTube, and he just wants to focus on quilting and working with Gamel. My coworker went to a week-long retreat all about minky. She recommends putting your minky in the dryer to take care of the lint. Yeah, we talked about that, but we didn't do that.
Yep.
That is a good tip.
Yep.
Justine says, I watched the podcast and I love listening to you both. Thank you.
Misty, no stupid questions at all. This might be a stupid question, but can't you just baste the whole quilt and then go back to the beginning of the quilt?
You can, and I think Tucker actually does that, speaking of Tucker. What I have found, and this is when I was a beginner and didn't really baste the right way, what I have found is when I do that, by the time I get to the bottom, it's wobbly.
Yeah.
So I don't, one of the mics has static on it. It's not huge, but it's there. I don't know which one that is. I don't know what to do about that. With the machine going in the background, I can't do anything about that either.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I'll listen to it here in a second and see what's going on. Vonnie asks, Ian, have you considered using the awkward room as your living room and the living room as your sewing room? Unfortunately, the way that awkward room is laid out, it would not work for a living room.
It's not big enough.
It's not big enough to...
But what it could work as is your office.
It could.
You could make that your 9-to-5 office and bring your sewing room out into where your office is.
Yeah, I could do that.
And then you would have more space.
Yep. But I kind of don't want to do that because since I'm in the office more, and that office doesn't have windows, I feel like I would go crazy in there, not knowing what time of day it was, not having those visual cues.
Like where I work, I don't get to have windows.
Yeah.
So, like, it doesn't bother me. Kim Martin says, I have been watching all of your videos as I can. I'm really enjoying all the content on all 3 of the channels, and we're neighbors. I live in Gainesville. Hello, neighbor.
Hello, neighbor. I'm still learning the area. I don't know where that is yet.
WDE says the whole Longarm unit with lighting frame and pro stitcher is impressive. It's about, if I had to estimate, about a $25,000 investment. Impressive. Spread out over about 10 years or so.
Yep.
Right? It's expensive, but it is what it is.
I think the light bar is worth it, though. I'm just going to say, because it would be very dark in here and very hard to see everything without it.
Yep. Wait a minute. Hold on. Tracy says, so Becca lets you leave? LOL.
Oh my gosh.
So funny. Mary says, I get you on that too, Ian. I would definitely miss the windows living in a basement apartment.
Yeah. I definitely miss my, when I was in my apartment in Texas, I had several windows, and I definitely miss having as much outdoor natural lighting coming in, but it still works.
Says you might want to swap rooms a bit before you get your final configuration, and you can always put a fake window in to mimic outside light and scenes.
That is true.
I've seen some YouTube videos where they've done I saw one where they took a security cam that pointed down their driveway and blew it up on a TV screen and made it look like a window.
Yeah.
I was like, that's cool. And then some people have even, you have those daylight bulbs that mimic sunrise, high noon, and it just...
Yep, I use smart lights in my apartment, and they will mimic the time of day, the shift in lighting from morning light, which is a little more amber, you get to bright daylight, which is that bright blue, and then in the evening it changes back to that kind of amber looking.
Brenda is asking you, what color of thread do you have in the top and the bottom?
I have gray thread in both the top and the bobbin.
It looks like a dove gray.
Yeah. And I'm loving how it's looking so far on the back.
Anna says, I agree. I work in a basement with only one possible way to see outside, and it's through a doorway down a hall.
Yeah.
9 years in, and it's depressing now, and I'm stuck there 40 hours a week.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would miss, because where I'm sitting right now, I can, over to my right side, I can look straight out a window, so it's helpful to have at least a little bit of sunlight and natural light coming in.
When I'm working from home, I work in our family room next to my fireplace, where I did most of my, in the same room that I did my sewing in while I was waiting for this room to be finished. And Jason likes to keep the blinds pulled down. I don't know why. He just, like, all the time he wants the blinds down. So that's fine. But I'm kind of in a corner, like literally I am in a corner, and my back is to the entire family room, the kitchen, the breakfast nook, everything. Everything is behind me because I am right up against the fireplace wall. And I don't see light. Like, the light's happening behind me, but I'm realizing, like I realized today because I worked from home, that there's not a lot of light going on in that room at all. And I really want a nice light for my desk, but my desk is barely big enough for my monitor and my laptop. So, yeah. Valentina says you could do an attic window quilt for that room. Let's make it look like outside.
Oh, boy.
Made by Misty. I love this. Just hang a TV on the wall and do a live stream of your favorite beach.
There you go. I like that idea. Which, by the way, my favorite beach is Malibu Beach. One of my favorite memories is spending the day at Malibu. Like, it was awesome. It was so awesome. And I got to spend time with my friends at that beach, and there's just so many great memories of that beach. So I think that's. Do I want to?
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh, David Pumpkins.
Drop. I literally, like, when I'm in here by myself or whatever, and to keep myself to remind myself to make sure to hit the drop button, I literally will roll the quilt. And then as I'm walking around, I'm like, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot, drop it like, bing! It always helps me remember to do that, because otherwise I have forgotten a couple of times, and that is such a headache to try.
Your right side is still needs to work up a bit more.
Yep. Yep.
Justine says, my fiance does the same thing. It drives me around the bend and light, especially during the winter months, keeping the blinds closed.
Yep. At first I was like, what? Dropping it like it's hot? Like what?
Yeah,
what is that?
That too.
What drives? Excuse me. That chili tasted good coming back up too.
Oh, I like that. Misty says, I often pull up the live cams at the Clearwater Aquarium and watch dolphins swimming around, and the otters and pelicans can be hysterical at times. Misty and I get along quite well. We can just sit and watch live streams about the dolphins all the time. Jackie says, I have a couple of ring lights on my to-buy list when we settle on a move date.
Yeah. Right
now I am planning on sewing in the living room.
Ring lights are great. And then I've just recently come across on Amazon, they're like called eyelash lamps or something like that. It's for the ladies who work on putting on fake eyelashes and like makeup and all that kind of stuff, and it's curved. It's a curved light, which I feel like would be great for some of our setups.
Oh.
I know, right?
No, that's not why I'm saying shut up.
Why? What happened?
because I was literally just looking at one of those for my desk. It is literally in my cart. It curves and is meant to go like the picture. It's going above 2 monitors. Shut up.
That is hilarious.
Barbara is saying maybe a little tug on the left side. She's reminding you that one of the sides of the quilt.
Yep. I've gotten it a little. It's gonna be a little wonky.
It's just gonna be a little bit every time.
It's gonna be a little wonky, and that's okay with me. Because again, this isn't a show quilt. I don't have to make this perfect, and I feel like the quilting pattern also kind of hides it, so that even if it's not perfectly, it'll be okay.
Kate is saying, are you able to save stuff, turn it off, and leave? Yes. Although I would tell you, and we probably should get into this habit, after each pass, anytime you advance the quilt, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to save your workspace again over top of the old file. That way, if you have to come back, he's going to do that right now, actually. That way, if you have to come back, it's not loading it from the beginning. It'll load it from where you last were. But yes, you can. The only thing is when you open it back up, you might need to just realign everything, but that's actually pretty easy. Candace says you'll never know once it's washed.
Yep, exactly. That's why I'm not freaking out about it. That's why I'm not freaking out about it, and it will be
Trina
just
Taco
fine.
is here and says, howdy folks, I'm a bit late, but hello, Becca and Ian.
Hello! Hello! I don't know.
Pat Strawhouse says, my house is set back from the road and no neighbors are beside me, so I have no curtains or blinds in my house. And that's why I don't understand why the blinds have to be drawn. No one's going to see us.
Yep.
Zaza is saying, Becca, what type of batting do you use and do you buy it by the bolt? So I like to use Quilter's Bamboo. I do not buy it by, it's okay. I do not buy it by the bolt because I don't have a place to store a bolt of batting. So I buy it in cases of pre-packaged battings. And you grab, is that a, yeah. This one's a queen, but I have been buying it in just double because I don't need the queen size.
Not sponsored. Ting!
Heather says, no more headphones with you guys, LOL.
Uh-oh, sorry.
I know
My bad.
It's loud. I know it's loud.
I'm so sorry, Heather. She's like, that was after my hello. Sorry, Heather. I'm so sorry. I'll do it. Hello!
Yeah, that hurt my ears.
Oh, sorry.
It sounds like Mrs. Doubtfire.
I did, yeah. It's funny because Jason does that.
Yeah.
He'll do the hello.
Going right back to Mary's comment. Ian's been around Jason.
Yep, exactly.
He's starting to make his sounds.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Jason, and I was like, why did you start doing the queen? Because it sounds like the queen. Hello. And he's like, oh, I think it's actually like Mrs. Doubtfire or Julia Child.
Justine says, Ian, you just made my kitten Fudge nearly have kittens himself.
Sorry, Justine.
Made by Misty has sent me the link. She said, I'm in. I just emailed you the link. I got it for the dolphins.
Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. There's some really good
Tracy
webcams
said when you
out
pulled
there.
it away and did it, that was even louder.
Oh, how did that happen? I'm sorry. How did it go? It was further away and it was still louder.
Let me take it to the other room when you do it.
Right, exactly.
Sorry,
everyone.
Okay.
I do apologize.
Okay. Zaza likes Quilter's green batting as well. I do too. And it doesn't have a scrim, which is nice. Oh, you guys, my arm itches so bad. So you want to hear my story? Oh my gosh. But yeah, but do you want to see if the bumps are still so bad?
It's red, so.
Yeah, but come feel.
Come feel. Is it still bumpy?
It's like, it was like a tennis ball.
Oh yeah.
It's not as bad. Oh,
it's not
a scratch. Oh. So I'm still doing my allergy shots, and my last set of weekly shots is next week. So I went in for my allergy shots this week. I went in on Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. No, it was yesterday.
It was Thursday.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I went in on yesterday. I went yesterday morning and got the shots. And when I went in, oh my gosh, I came home and it's at the maximum dose now. My arm itched so bad.
Yep.
And I came home, I was like, babe, my arm itches, my arm itches, my arm itches. And he was like, okay. And he was going to scratch my arm for me because he's my husband and he does kind things like that. But then he touched me. He was like, ew, it's hard. Because it was like a golf. I had like 4 golf ball sized knots in my arm from that. Oh, it was horrible.
Yep.
Made by, thread braid?
Nope, low bobbin.
Okay. Low bobbin?
Low bobbin.
Is it going to make it all the way through? Okay. Made by Misty said, Ian, what fabric line is that? I like that. Such bright colors.
This one is the
Deco Glow 2.
Yep, Deco Glow 2 by Juicy Juice. Yep.
How did you you're gonna
I'm amazing. I'm amazing.
I have wanted that turned on since I got the so I have been literally running out of bobbin on this Longarm for years because I couldn't figure out how to make the bobbin alarm work for a fully loaded, like I couldn't figure it out. And so it just made the alarm, it's like, bobbin's getting low, wind another bobbin. That's what it popped up and said. Ian turned it on for me. He figured it out.
Yep, I'll show you. I'll show you.
If I could kiss you, I would. But I probably won't.
No, just kidding.
That's awesome.
No, I'll show you. I'll show you how I did it here in a minute. I'm going to set this over here so that way it reminds me to...
Oh, and we got to put a drop of oil in there too.
I put one in when we started.
Okay,
do we need
fine.
to? Yeah.
I usually do it with every bobbin change, but as long as you're every other.
Yeah.
Or at least once a project, if nothing else.
Okay. Boop.
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 Boop, boop, boop.
So I'll change the bobbin here in a moment, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and advance everything, and I'm going to use the bobbin that I currently have in it to baste the next row, and then I'll switch out. And that's why I have the bobbin sitting over there, is so that way I remember to switch out the bobbin.
So it doesn't get messed up when you advance. I'm going to set it over here on my cart of tricks. This looks really good.
It does look good.
Can I have it?
No. No. Drop this.
Yeah, tag.
Drag. I know, it wants to stay out for some reason.
Do you want me to get rid of it?
Yep.
Okay. With this.
Oh, I just screamed in the microphone. Sorry, everyone. Oh, sorry.
Hold on. You really trust me, huh?
Yep. 100%. Okay. Drag is on, so I'm going to now remove my clamps and move on to, going to remove the lock, double checking, yes, drag is on. I always find myself like checking 2 or 3 times, being like, is it really on? There we go. Lock that in place. Put my clamps on.
Put your clamps on.
I didn't say on what though. Quilters After Dark.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see. We've got some more. Where do you get bamboo batting? I buy it in bulk from. I buy it in bulk at wholesale from Quilter's Dream.
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
Brenda says, Becca, next time will you show us how to load the pantograph and what all you do to start? So I showed you the quilt. Showing you the screen of the computer is hard because I don't know how to get it to show on camera.
I wonder if there's a way to...
But there is a Pro Stitcher simulation software
there is.
that you could use.
There is.
But it only runs on Windows, and I have a Mac.
Yep.
I will tell you, all of the things are... Handiquilter does have all the videos for how you would load the software. I would love to show you. I just don't know how to get the technology to work.
Wonder if
But
there's a
that's a
way.
problem I can work on and see if I can figure it out. I just don't know if I'll have an answer anytime soon.
Wonder if there's a way to get an output for this. You know?
I'm sorry?
I wonder
Oh,
if there's
yeah,
a way
yeah.
to get an output
Maybe.
for this.
Maybe, except that is such a dumbed down tablet.
Yeah, it is.
It has a browser, and when I go to the browser, I can't even go to google.com. I'm like, why? It's like, you can't do that on your Pro Stitcher software.
What?
On your Pro Stitcher tablet. And I'm like, what?
What the heck?
What?
Okay.
I'm going to eat some of my Cheez-It snack mix.
You're hungry after... Oops, I
I
forgot
didn't
to...
have very much.
Oh, that's true.
It wasn't what I thought it would be.
Hey, I thought it was amazing.
I made, for dinner, chili. I put it in the crock pot.
Yeah, you did.
And it was my first attempt at ever making chili without following somebody else's recipe. So I think I did good.
Yeah, I would say so.
And then I made Italian bread bowls. I made bread bowls to put the chili in, but I feel like the bread was a little bland because I didn't season the bread dough, but it did have the right consistency. I just feel like the bread needed a bit more salt or butter or something in there.
I thought it was wonderful. I'm just saying. All right, I'm going to bring up the bobbin because I am going to trim this time since I'm going to be switching out bobbins.
Nancy says, turn on night mode like we do on our phones. Okay. You know, Nancy, I'll try and play with it and see if I can figure it out. Because if nothing else, I could always do it as an edited video.
Yep.
Or cheese. Add cheese.
Okay, before I get this row started.
Hold on. There was another question in here. Teach me, Ian. How do I turn on that low bobbin ding? People want to know, so you're going to have to tell them what you did.
Well, in fact, I was going to show you, so come on over here.
Oh boy, I gotta go learn.
I'm going to save this really quick. Save.
So he just put a fresh bobbin in.
So I just put a fresh bobbin in. It is, I don't think it's wound 100%, but I think it still might go off.
Hold on, let me try something. This is continuity camera, so in theory. Oh, I can't do that. Never mind. Oh, I can. Yep, it worked. You're coming with me.
Whee!
I'm trying to move you slowly.
Oh, I need to.
Oh, look, we can see the screen somewhat.
But
I can't get in real close, so.
Yeah, okay, I just moved down one. Okay, so. Cool, we're gonna turn off base. So what I do is I'll exit out and go to where'd the Pro Stitcher?
Swipe up again. It's
Where's your?
It's the oak starter.
Is it?
Is it that?
Well, normally there is
I have no idea.
the
Minimize.
Oh,
It won't minimize.
that's okay. Well, I don't know. Anyways, so the Pro Stitcher, no, the Handiquilter console, it has a button that you hit and it resets it.
Okay, hold on. Pro Oak Starter. It's right here.
No.
It might be because you already have something running.
Yeah.
Hit cancel because you can start it again, right? You know how to start it without.
Yeah.
Right? Just hit cancel. Okay. Now see if it's down there.
Nope.
Weird. Okay. Pro Stitcher Designer, whatever. I don't know. Okay, so it's normally over there.
It's normally on the bottom but it's that panel that looks like the old screen that she had. It's in there, and you hit the reset button on the bobbin, and it will reset the
You
alarm.
had this set up.
Huh?
This is weird. I don't know. Did you have this so it was straddling?
I had it. Yeah.
Here, put it back.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm doing. It's cockeyed.
It's not. When you look at the
Oh,
thing.
okay,
Yeah.
whatever. Let's plug it in.
Plug it in, plug it in. Whoops.
We'll have to figure that out. It
Yeah.
might just be... The
don't know
software is a
why.
little wonky because it's Windows, and so sometimes it wants to work and sometimes it doesn't.
Okay. So,
Pro Stitcher is glitchy. You might not want to do that in the middle of quilting.
yeah, I was, yeah. But we started clicking a whole bunch of buttons. I got a little nervous.
Karen says mine is at the top left corner. Might be a setting within Pro Stitcher.
Maybe. Okay, we're gonna go here. Needle up, proceed. Proceed. Okay. And resume. And away we go. Top left of the Pro Stitcher. Debbie, is that the one that is the one that has the bobbin?
Which
It has
tab is that on?
It shows bobbin and it shows your like wheel.
Yeah, but it's in Pro Stitcher. They're saying it's on the top left corner, but what tab is it on?
It may be up in the top, like top left. We'll look at it later tonight.
Yeah.
See if we can find it again.
Up here, maybe.
It's not a tab.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Donna says, hello all, we'll catch the replay, but knew Ian would miss his favorite fabric enabler. She's emailed me so many times about so many different fabrics, and I'm like, you cannot enable me like this.
Okay, so we're going to do a giveaway. Mary, will you help me? I have a quilt that I have made that I would like to give away. It's got a sleeve on it.
You're gonna give that one away?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to wait for Mary to see if she'll help me set up a giveaway.
Mary! It was more than twice, Donna. It's like been 3 or 4 times now. I feel like.
Okay.
Yes, always.
So
will always
here's
help
what
you.
the giveaway is going to be. It's a quilt, a whole cloth quilt that I did the size of a fat quarter. This is what we'll be giving away. I have on the back a label and even a sleeve, so you can hang it this way if you want, or if you prefer to hang it this way, you can. But this is just graffiti quilting all over. So, Mary will open up a raffle and the lucky person can email me, the lucky winner can email me, Becca@sewbecca.com, and I'll put this in the mail tomorrow because I actually have 2 packages that I need to take to the UPS store.
Yeah, you do.
So this will go in the mail tomorrow. So this is it. This is what the raffle is going to be for tonight.
The giveaway?
Yeah, giveaway. Not raffle. Giveaway. 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 No purchase necessary. Not gambling. And good luck to all of you. That's so pretty.
It is.
Spoiler alert, it hung in here for a little while.
It sure did.
I need to change that command to giveaway.
Yep. And all we
Or
can see
gift.
now is
Raffle!
raffle.
Raffle.
But it's a giveaway, not a raffle. I keep fondling the back.
Yeah,
It's so nice.
it's very pretty.
It is.
And they can see, like, I'm really happy because the way I have it mounted, it's not bouncing.
Right.
And I've been trying to figure out for a long time, how do I put a camera on my long arm and not have it bounce with the machine? Because I was always putting it on the handles. There's
Yep.
a lot of shape for the handles,
There
but
are.
there's not up here.
But you also notice that it is shaking. The
But
camera is shaking.
iPhone camera's really doggone good.
Yep.
Because my camera doesn't bounce either. I've got
Yep.
the 15 Pro, so it's better than it used to be. So it's doing a really good job with that. And it's also wireless. I don't have any cords coming to it. 2 years ago, I couldn't have done this.
Right.
Now I can.
Yep. You would have had to run a cord all the way
Yep,
up
and
and
I was
over.
just like, no, I'm not
Yep.
doing that. But now that I can run all these cameras wirelessly, I can kind of take you anywhere. Thank you, Mary. Getting ready to do your next advance.
Yeah.
You're about halfway done.
Yeah.
That's gonna look so good.
I know. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
did.
And I just can't hide it.
I know.
I
want to.
That's what you come here, for, guys, for karaoke. That is what it is.
I don't know if you guys notice this when it's quilting out, but you can see the blue in
Yep.
some of the stitching from the Minky coming through, but all of that will be relaxed when it gets its first wash, so we're not really worried about that.
Nope. And even if it doesn't, it's kind of a nice accent.
Brenda, try leaving YouTube and coming back in. It's not showing up black on my end, but I have noticed sometimes that happens to me too, where you go into YouTube. Did you just break my damn scissors?
No.
They look broken.
Do they like broken down?
Oh, okay. Okay.
They somehow, like, I don't know, they sometimes will like flip-flop.
Oh, I see.
The blades go on the opposite sides of each
I
other.
see, said the blind frog.
And so I'm like, what the heck, man?
I see.
All right, drop my needle.
What are you going to bind it with, Ian?
So it had enough scraps to do the binding with, so it's kind of hard to see there, but I have all the binding made up into strip. I've made a strip out of the binding, for the binding, out of all of the scraps. I need to drop them. Okay, I dropped the needle.
Don't forget, this is
drag.
the giveaway tonight. If you haven't gotten your ticket, I'll pan this really slow. This is just a fat quarter that I had sitting in my room, and I had some scrap batting that I used.
Drop is on.
And I was playing with graffiti quilting from Carly Porter. And I put them all together. I resized them all to fit on a single, well, 9 of the 18 designs she has. I resized them to fit onto a fat quarter. And so this is being given away tonight. Karen B, exclamation raffle. You put a T and not an R.
Okay. Lock that one.
I think now that I've got like this, I want to do more giveaways of quilts that I've made or things that I've made.
Yeah.
Especially since I've definitely had the conversation with my husband about we have too many quilts on our beds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what are you talking about? We have too many quilts on our beds. You mean toot?
Is that even possible? Is that even a thing?
According to him, it is. We have 2 quilts on our bed and our down comforter. Apparently, that's too many. We're not allowed to have a third.
Which is funny because I literally have like 6 quilts on my bed right now. So ever since I've moved here, like in Texas, in the winter time, I would hardly run my heat unless I absolutely was forced to. And then here, I just need like all of the heat or all of the quilts all the time. So, all right, needle is up. We're going to go into baste mode and we're going to trying to futz with it a little bit and get it a little more lined up. It's not quite lined up, but it'll be close enough. It's not a big deal.
I am eating, so I have 2 favorite treats other than caramel. I like the peppermint Christmas tree nougats from Brock's that you get around the holiday season. So I've already bought my first bag of the Christmas tree nougats, and I am enjoying one right now. But also, I love the hard Werthers with the caramel apple in the center. Oh, and Mary keeps me in those. Like every
Keeps
now,
you stocked.
Oh, she does. She sent me 2 bags of those about a month or so ago. And I just finished the first bag, haven't opened the second one yet. And a package showed up at my doorstep the other day, and it was 3 more bags. I was like, okay.
Have some more.
Joan says, hi, Becca and Ian. I've been watching on the TV and not in the chat. I love the live. Ian, your quilt looks great, and I love the pattern for quilting.
Thank you. I love the pattern that I chose as well. All right, we have restarted our new line. We're gonna click quilt, and we're gonna go.
Sandra says, depending on the weight of your down comforter, it could get more warmth than imaginable. I was shocked with mine. I love the look. Yeah, I mean, that's part of it, but really what it is he doesn't like having to make the bed with multiple blankets. And then when we don't make the bed, the quilts just pile up in a knot, and then you struggle to figure out where yeah, it's a whole thing. So his limit is 2 plus the down comforter.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, in the winter time, my favorite thing is to put a quilt under the down comforter, and then a quilt on top of the down comforter. So like the down comforter is sandwiched in between 2 quilts.
Do you want to show them that one?
What one? Oh, sure, if you want to pat the camera. Oh, we can take it over there. That's better. So I finally finished my Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt. Actually finished it, I think, over the weekend when it was revealed. I got another... Oh. Ah! Thread break.
Thread break. Womp womp.
So what he's going to do here... Want to talk them through what you're doing when you find a thread break?
Yup. So I'm going to find about where it broke. Wow, it did break.
It shredded?
It shredded.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Oh. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to rethread everything because it caught somewhere. I don't know where, but it caught somewhere. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull the thread out and rethread it.
No, Jackie, I have not tried quilting with a flannel back yet. I don't really like the feel of flannel, although I've been told that like quilt shop quality flannel is different than Joann's flannel, and I should try it. So it's on my list of things to do. I haven't tried it yet, but I will probably do that sometime. Cancel, right?
Yeah, I'm going to cancel it out because I don't want to accidentally grab the machine and try to start moving it and then hear that awful sound of the gears and know, oh man, I've just messed everything up.
So if you move it, it stays locked with where it should be. And if you move it while the gears are engaged, you get this noise. And when you do that, it's like nails on a chalkboard because you know the machine, the needle on the machine is no longer lined up with the design.
Yep.
The only time you can move the machine is when you are doing a thread jump. So it disengages the gears so you can move it and keeps everything positioned correctly.
Yep.
But then when you want the design to move with it, you got to use the drag and drop feature.
Yep.
Barbara is asking, how often do you change the needle? Probably not as often as I should. I do it every couple of projects or so. But I do know some long armors that put a fresh needle in with every single quilt.
Yep.
But I'm not a professional long armor, so I don't do that. This is a fresh needle, though. I think we've only done one quilt on this needle.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Is it over? I can't get it to play. No, we're here, Gloria. Hello, hello. Try refreshing your browser or closing out and coming back in. Although I guess you can't see that.
Yeah.
Or hear that. Maybe somebody could type in the chat and let her know.
Yeah, let her know in the chat. All right, so I'm trying to pinpoint. Oh, it didn't. Okay, so I've got to go.
So he's probably gonna look at where it stopped stitching and go back just a couple of stitches.
Well, I'm actually gonna go a little ways back.
Okay, that's fine. But going back at least a couple is recommended.
Yeah.
So he'll figure out at what point he needs to rip back to. So he's gonna pull those stitches out. And then he's gonna line up the needle with that point and set a new start point to line up with where he's at, and it'll pick up from right there.
What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go a pretty far ways back because where the thread broke was right on the line, a double line, and I'm afraid if it picks up on the wrong line, it won't finish out that row.
Gotcha.
So I'm actually gonna go back a little further than I probably need to, but let's go auto. Put that there. We're gonna hit run. Proceed. It's gonna do its thing. I'm gonna grab my bobbin. Come here.
Oh no, Jackie said YouTube crashed. It took her a bit to reload.
Oh no. What is going on? Sorry, everyone. This is as exciting as watching paint dry.
Well, it's also hard. Well, actually, they can see what you're doing.
Yep.
I forgot we had the close-up camera,
Yep.
so when you're talking about the stitches that you're, I mean, they can't see the thread because it blends so well, but
Right.
they can at least see that you're working
There
on
we go.
something.
Okay, got it. I think. So I'm going to leave everything a little long because I can always bury those threads.
Trina Taco says, I'm assuming you won't be giving away your cathedral window quilt. Can you tell me what line you used for the inside pieces? They were scraps from a batik fat quarter bundle that I gave to Mary. I think it was a Robert Kaufman batik bundle, but I don't remember what it was. Ian, do you still have that batik fat quarter bundle?
Was it the
The purples and blues that I gave to you?
Oh, I do, but it's
packed away, right?
Yeah, it's packed away right now.
I don't remember what it was called.
I don't either.
But it was a batik fat quarter bundle from Robert Kaufman, and I just used the scraps left over from Mary's quilt. Okay, so we're going to show you my, this is my, what was the name of this? Tree of Life.
Yep.
Okay, no, go to you. There we go. This is the quilt. Let's pull it up so they can see the center. There you go. That's what
Look
it
at that
looks like.
pretty quilt. But you want to know?
Y'all, I love it.
Think someone owes me up. No, I'm just kidding. Look here.
I still have a leader.
We took down the quilt. I'm like, what is the? Oh, that's a leader on there.
I really, really love it. And I didn't think I would because as I was working with the quilt, I didn't like the fabric up close. I don't like that print up close. I don't like that print up close. But when it all comes together, it's kind of great. No, Zoe's quilt is not done, but it is on, I am diligently working on it. Slow and steady wins the race.
Yep.
Don't forget, if you are here, exclamation giveaway will put you into the raffle to win this lovely mini quilt. Giveaway. This is the giveaway I'm going to do tonight. One lucky winner will have this beautiful quilt already with the sleeve and the label on the back. That's what's going to be, that's what's in the giveaway.
I saw a comment. Where'd it go? Oh, you are way behind over here. Okay, we're gonna go down here. Where'd it go? There it is, right there. What happens if I...
If you add the broadcast, it'll pin it up there.
Oh, add to broadcast.
Exclamation raffle, exclamation raffle.
There it is. Misty said, okay, this is not right. Right when Ian's thread broke, I was ironing my table runner and I found a missing whole seam and now I'm having to rip the entire piece.
It's exclamation raffle, guys, exclamation raffle.
Oh, and look who is joining us tonight.
Oh, hey Josh.
Hey Josh, good to see you. Josh is in the house. Make sure to go check him out on Instagram. He just finished a quilt inspired by the colors of the, it wasn't the Hubble Space Telescope, it was the Webb Space Telescope. What? What? Ah! Ah!
I told him, wait, come here. So,
What's happening?
my stepdaughter, I used to do this thing with her when she was younger. Every time, whenever she was talking, I just go, shh. And so I did that to Ian for the first time. He's like, what in the world?
What the heck are you doing? The heck are you doing?
I'm picking your nose.
Ew. You can pick your friends and you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose.
Wildcat says, I am joining late. The quilt is very beautiful, Ian.
Thank you.
Nice. Did a good job finding that point.
Yep. Took
Time to advance.
Time to advance it.
So I guess for the folks that are joining, this is the pantograph he is using. Josh's Instagram is lifting and stitching.
Lifting and stitches?
Lifting and stitching, I think. I think it's ing after both.
Oh, okay. I can remember. Sorry, Josh.
Or maybe, cause I think it's lifting and stitching. Yep, sure is.
There you go.
Oh, wow. He said, I've been lurking on the two of you while watching Lord of the Rings.
Oh, fun.
Okay, so he's a quilter.
And a Lord of the Rings fan.
And he's dare I call him a geek?
I think that's fair.
I think that's fair.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Okay.
Huh.
Is he married?
Yes, he is.
Damn, I can't hook the two of you up.
Josh, watch out. She's going to try and set me up.
Your face is red. How far do you mail your giveaways? I'll mail it worldwide.
There you go.
No, it won't take very much to mail that. It's not very heavy.
Not that one. Not that one.
Exclamation raffle, exclamation raffle, exclamation raffle. I've been trying to call the giveaway. I slipped. I told you exclamation giveaway, but it is only exclamation raffle.
Yeah, sorry. She's going to change the command after. The reason she's saying that is because we've recently discovered some rules, and we're trying to
adhere to them.
Adhere to the rules.
I do not want the IRS to come pounding on my door, asking me for their percentage of my proceeds from the gambling I have been doing across state lines and across country lines. When in fact it is not a gambling, because you're not paying a penny.
Not paying anything.
You're just watching. And as a thank you for watching, I will give one of you a quilt that I made. Does Josh know the name of the Kaufman Boutique line? Probably not. Ian, you really look comfortable sewing on the long arm. How many quilts have you long arm quilted? I'm really enjoying this show.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, I think it's been 6 now, if I remember correctly. It's been about 6.
That panto is so deco.
It is.
And it matches deco fabric. Oh.
It's like I planned it or something.
You sure did. Oh, that might be good. But even if you do have the scraps, Mary, it's batik, so there's nothing on the salvage. So unless you saved the little paper from the fat quarter bundle, you won't be able to identify.
I have it, but it's
the
packed.
Fat quarter bundle unwrapped in a box somewhere.
Yep.
So if you can wait, or just email Ian, he'll tell you what it is when he unpacks his fabric.
And in the future, we'll probably put it in the description of this video, maybe, if Becca remembers.
Yeah.
All right. We're to turn.
Oh, very cool. Wildcat49 says, thank you for showing us how to use the long arm tonight. They are planning to buy one for the quilters on my reservation.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
Trina Taco says, my batik dreams have been crushed.
Oh, no.
Josh said, I haven't a clue of the name of the line.
Come on, Josh. You're like all knowing and all, like, you know all the answers. So
I probably could find it. Just listen, Trina, just send me an email and we'll see. I might have to go back and dig through some videos, but I know I showed it on a live stream about 25,000 years ago. No, that's Dust to Dawn.
I know. This is still one of my, I have a fat quarter bundle of this one.
Yeah.
And I haven't used it yet. I need to find a good project for it.
I don't know, but if you even throw anything smaller, if you throw anything bigger than an inch of that fabric out, I will kill you.
Yep.
I'm taking every bit of that scrap.
Love this line. And I've been like hogging it because I want a really perfect project for it.
That's a good idea. Reverse Google search for the fabric.
Yeah.
So Mary could take a picture of some of the scrap.
Well, I have this phone. We have like 5 phones up here. Let me see what happens.
Do the purple down in the right. Because there's one piece in there that is not from, 2 pieces in there that's not from the line, but it just worked.
Okay.
So I will go for the purples. Yeah, move my ribbon out of the way.
Yep.
Okay, I want a ribbon. Watch it come back with like my photo.
For half a second, I thought it did. I thought it did come back with yours.
Well, Mary, you wouldn't have selvages because it's batiks. They don't print selvages on batiks. Mary's doing the same thing you're doing with a bigger piece.
Yeah, I'm not finding anything with that small piece.
John said, Becca, your sister will take the scraps before you have a
Right,
chance.
it's true. It's true. we're not terribly far away from the end.
We're not.
So if we might go a little long tonight if you're okay with that.
I'm okay with that, yeah.
I don't know if y'all out there in YouTube land are okay with that, but we might go a little long tonight.
Well, they'll probably want to see what it looks like off the long arm. So we'll just wait until it's fully finished because it's only got a few more passes. Ian, have you gotten the new Tula Pink line? The shop I work at got it in, and OMG, it's gorgeous.
So, I'm not a fan of florals, and it's okay, but I'm not like rushing out. Would I turn it down? No. But I'm not rushing out to go get it. Although I did see the checkered pattern glows under a black light, and I kind of want to get some of that really badly. By the way, I just saw Josh's comment, and this could be a good tip for just about anybody here on the live. Where'd it go? Let's see. Where'd his comment go? I saw it come through. Oh, there it is. So he says, the Google app has a lens function. I just snapped a photo of fabric, and 9 times out of 10, I find it. So if you have some fabric in your stash that you don't know where it came from, you can download the Google app and use the camera function to get a picture of it and maybe find out what that fabric was. You know, how many of us have had scraps and we're like, dang, if I could just have a fat quarter more of this, or, you know, dang, I just need another yard.
Trina bought a yard of all 24 fabrics.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. I support that. Becca, what was the learning curve on Pro Stitcher?
Why don't you talk about it from your end first?
So for me, it wasn't bad, actually. It was a steep one for sure, but the more I've done it, the better I've gotten. And the first couple of quilts were rough, but once I got into the flow, it wasn't too bad.
It becomes almost muscle memory.
It does.
It's just knowing what to click when you do it. So my recommendation, if you jump into this, is to just get some, I don't want to call them throwaway quilts, but maybe we'll call them charity quilts.
Yep.
Right? Make some quilt tops that don't have a lot of detail to them that you can whip up really, really quick. Have several of them ready to go with some batting and just practice. But be prepared to have to tackle when your thread breaks. How do you line things back up?
Yep.
Those are the biggest things to handle. Like if you can learn how to load a panto, get it the way you want it, and then find where it left off, that's half the battle.
Yep. Pam says, this is just as mesmerizing as watching an embroidery machine do its designs. No kidding, because my Bernina has a embroidery unit on it, and I could sit there and watch it all day long.
Yeah, and Shelby's actually, Evening Glow Floral. That might be it. So look that up, guys, by Robert Hoffman, I think. That does sound familiar. Shelby is mentioning that another thing that you could do to help is to use panels.
Yeah.
So I do have some panels over on the shelf that I can play with, but knowing that I had the Pro Stitcher coming, that the purchase was coming, I bought 2 panels from Legit Kits at the Quilt Expo. So this one is a Legit Kits panel of a flamingo, and this is for a special someone in my life who loves flamingos, and if she's watching, she knows who she is. And the other one is Muscle. It's the car. And this is for another friend who's been wanting to do this one, but just hasn't taken the plunge on it. So I thought I could quilt both of these up. I might even pull them out and put a border around them just because I could quilt them up and gift them to my 2 friends. So these are an excellent way to just practice your all over design. Now, what I could do, if I really wanted to, I told you at the beginning of the live stream that one of the things that I've been doing on the Pro Stitcher is I've stepped out of doing the edge to edge. I've stepped out of doing the edge to edge, and I've started stepping more into deliberate quilting. So I'm using the software to plot out areas of a quilt that I want a specific design to go in, and stretching it and skewing it to fill in that space a bit. And so that might be something really fun to do with this. I don't know if I will, if I'm being honest, because if you look at the design there, this is what the whole quilt, the whole panel will look like. That might be a little bit more than I want to take on. It just depends on when I load it on the long arm, but these are two things that I want to get loaded on there. So panels are definitely a great option. All right, looks like the raffle has closed. Let's find out who our winner is going to be for this lovely mini quilt. I'm looking to see who it's going to pick. Joanne Reed says, Becca and Ian, not to brag, cough, cough. I just bought 2 fat quarters of the colorful dots of Tula Pink at our mini shop hop last weekend for $1 each. I thought of you both.
What?
Angela C. Christine says, me. Did the bot pick you? Missy Fannin won. Awesome, Missy. So congratulations, Missy. This is coming your way, but you guys don't worry. There will be plenty more mini quilts or other quilted goodies given away on my live streams in future shows. So make sure to tune in to future live streams. Missy, if you can just let me know in the chat that you're still here. So Missy Fannin, I'm waiting to see you type, hey, I got it. And don't forget, we're like 30 seconds behind. So she may have already replied, and you guys are probably asking me if she's still here. Isn't your deliberate quilting also called custom quilting? Yeah, I think so. It's just custom quilting by machine. Missy, waiting for Missy Fannin.
Every time I hear Missy.
Evening Glow Artisan Batiks is the name of the fabric that I use.
There you go.
Thank you, Trina.
Look at you.
She's here. Wow, I'm here. All right, Missy. So you're going to, the Deep Dive by Art East. WDE just finished that. That's beautiful quilt. Missy, email me, Becca@sewbecca.com, with the name and address you would like this quilt to go to, and I will reply back tomorrow with a tracking number. This is going to go out in tomorrow's mail.
All right, we're going to resume.
I'm so happy that that's going to go to a good home. Like, I love that quilt. It's so beautiful.
It is. I had to rip it off the wall the other day.
No, my mini split started leaking water. There's a pump or something in there that takes the condensation outside, and it quit working. And so there was water coming in, and
I was at the Longarm. I was at the Longarm, and I heard the machine stopped, and I heard like dripping water, and I immediately look over at the mini split and saw that there was water dripping out of it, and that quilt was hanging right underneath it. I poked it off the wall. I was like, "Wah!" It's like, sorry, I ripped that off the wall, but I didn't want it to get wet. And it didn't. It was completely dry, but I was so afraid that it was getting dripped on.
Well,
you can actually probably, those two strips right there.
Straps, yeah.
That's where it was, and I was like, "Wah!"
That's where it was hanging.
Hulk, pull off the wall. Nope.
Save the quilt! Barb
Save it!
It's interesting because I normally don't get this view of my room.
I know. They have all the things over here. Becca has her enamel pins right here. All of the enamel pins.
I'm going to need another mini quilt because that's starting to get full.
Yep.
And that's not all of them. I have over there, I have my special Chewbacca ones. These have the locking backs on them.
Yep.
This is what I wear when I go to Disney World. These are my special pins.
We need to get you to Disneyland.
Yeah.
At some point.
I've got Jasmine because she's my favorite princess.
Uh-huh.
I've got Gaston because he's not a villain. He's a hero. I've got Aladdin because that's my favorite Disney movie.
Genie.
Yep, I like the Genie. Aladdin and Lion King are my favorites.
Yes.
And then I've got lots of Chewbaccas because Chewbacca.
Chewbacca! Let's see.
I'll show you.
Oh, so the video for your quilt was 6 months ago, and it was with the 3 of you making your own versions. Didn't give a name on the fabric. Tracy, are you talking about the Continuum quilt that we were working on? If you're talking about the one that's getting quilted right now, Ian Smash, right? The fabric from this is Deca Glow 2 by Juicy Juice.
Yep.
And then Tiffany used her own fabric from her stash. So I don't know if she knows where that fabric came from. Because it was all from her stash.
Yep. The curved lights make it seem like you're... No, that's not why. It's because we have it on the wide angle lens.
Yeah.
So that you can see the entire shot. I told him, I was like, it's going to look like we're in a fishbowl if we do that. But if we go into the normal, then it's going to end up being...
It shows like this much.
Yeah.
So it's not terrible. It's only noticeable when I get up this close. See, now you can see it. Now you can see... Hello, magic box people. That makes it look bad. But back here, it's not so bad.
Now I just found the tumbler that was a gift, so I can get another one. Whoever started this has created a monster.
Okay, now I understand. I literally just saw this happen because sometimes as the quilt is quilting out, little fuzz balls would get like sewn into it, and I was like, how does that happen? And I just looked over, there was a fuzz ball in the scoop, and because it's a scoop, it funneled it right down into the thread.
Ian, message from Angela, you've got some gorgeous blue eyes.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. I'm just gonna go ahead. This is terrible. Someone's yelling at me right now. Don't do that! Don't do that! It's fine.
Dancing bobbins?
Yep. I'm just gonna get rid of the rest of this bobbin because there's really not enough to do. There's not enough. This was all that was left on that bobbin, and thread is more easier to replace than having to redo a whole row or something. So I'm going to go ahead and wind this one because even if we don't use it on this one, this is one of the thread colors that we tend to use more frequently because it tends to go with a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and wind this bobbin completely. So that way it's ready, and I do need to remind me, everyone, when I get to the beginning of this next row that I need to check the bobbin.
You have a message from Terry up there.
I have to say, you are always... What?
An up kind of person, but you really seem so much happier now. So glad you made the move.
Me too. Me too. I'm a lot happier here. Things are just better here. I'll just put it that way. Things are just better here, and I'm a lot happier here. And it also helps a lot because Becca and I can pop into each other's lives more easily. And also, the podcast has been a wonderful endeavor for us both. And I don't know, it's just better here. Although I miss my friends a lot. Don't get me wrong, I miss my friends a lot. All right, time to advance again. So I'm gonna go ahead and lock this in, drop my needle. You can see that on the screen. I'm gonna hit drag. And we're gonna move. No bueno. Oh, no bundles. I thought that said no bueno.
Trina says, I've researched no bundles or jelly rolls to be found. I see selected fat quarters though on Etsy.
Did I? Yes, I had it on.
I've done the same thing.
Oh,
Check the bobbin, they said.
thank you.
Mary says, I miss my friends too, Ian.
Yep. We'll get to see you soon, Mary.
Yep, just a couple weeks.
Can't believe it. Like, this year is just like, what the heck?
Lots of folks are reminding you to check the bobbin. Heather's saying check the bobbin.
Check the bobbin.
Tracy is saying check the bobbin.
Check the bobbin. Check the bobbin. Check the bobbin.
Bobbin check, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Bobbin check, bobbin check, bobbin. Okay, drop, pull up. I'm not gonna check it yet because I need to. I'm gonna go ahead and use what's on it and baste.
I'm gonna try and zoom in a bit more so they can see that needle a little bit.
Check the bobbin. Check the bobbin. Yeah, this quilt is definitely not square, but that is a-okay.
Artists and boutiques are continually releasing new lines. You might be able to find something similar, Trina, Shelby says. 3 weeks from tomorrow. I still think you should come up the Saturday before Thanksgiving. I'm just saying, like, I'll be here.
There we go. Pull it off. Pull my thread up. I'm going to get to the other side. I'm going to baste, and then I'm going to check my bobbin. Come all the way down. Do some baste work real quick. All right, there we go. All right, so now I'm going to pull up my bobbin and I'm going to check it. And I'm going to trim this. Now here's a question for y'all. What do I do? Because there's going to be some of this cuddle left over, both on the left and right side. What do I do with the scraps of...
You can make a scarf.
Oh, yeah?
You wouldn't even need any batting.
That's
would
true.
Be a really nice scarf.
That would be a nice scarf.
I know, Mary. Josh, where do you live? We have a message from Josh that says, ugh, the Longarm envy is too much.
He is in North Carolina?
Oh, close enough. Come on, Josh.
North or South Carolina? Like
Mary can get him on the
right?
way.
Exactly. She can pick you up on the way. Absolutely.
Come on, Josh. Folks are talking about pillow covers.
Oh.
Yeah, you could make a couple of throw pillows to go on your bed.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Pillows or plushies. Heather says, I could use a new scarf, Ian. Scarf and half it. Enough left over. A scarf and a half, if enough left over.
There you go.
Queen of the Roo says, I suck at making pillows or even a stuffed teddy bear.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm going to be horrible. I just hate running out in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and use the new bobbin because I don't know how much was left. It wasn't a brand new bobbin that I put in there. So
we'll see.
I think I'll be able to make it with the rest of this one. We will see.
Holly says you could cut the cuddle scraps into squares and then sew them together, making the nap go in opposite directions.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Grandma's Quilts and Creation says you could use it for your binding.
I already have my binding. I did think about that because I saw Tiffany did that for your mom's quilt. And I thought about doing that, but I decided that I want to use the binding that I already set up for this one.
Mary's like, I'll pick you up on the way, Josh.
Right?
Josh is like, carpool time!
Yeah! Stop off at Buc-ee's! So
scarves would make an excellent giveaway, Ian.
They would.
Or what if we did another raffle that they could have your cuddle scraps?
Right, exactly. Giveaway for the extra the extra cuddle scraps. And then you can make something for me and send it back to me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh, Thomasina says, I'm looking to buy a Baby Lock Brilliant sewing machine. Wish me luck. Good luck.
Good luck.
Tracy wants to know, are you going to make a quilt label?
Make a what?
A quilt label.
Yeah, I always do for my quilts. I've learned the importance. So I'm going to go off on a soapbox for half a second, but it is so important to label your quilts, even if it is just a simple piece of fabric that you just quickly stitch onto it. Label, 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 label your quilts, because in the future, there are many a times that those quilts get put into Goodwill or they get lost because people don't quite know the value of them or whatever. And a lot of times having a label on it, although you may never find the original person that made it, it helps maybe put the pieces together for either locating if you so choose to locate, or just honoring the person that made it, knowing who that person was. And even if you don't do any research into who that person was, it's just so important, I feel like, to have a label on your quilt, in my opinion. I used Minky scraps as backing for a dog mat for my 2 little dogs.
Maybe I could use your extra scraps to make a dog bed.
Right, yeah. Does anybody have any, Holly is asking, anyone have tactile issues? Would love the different feels. So I love yeah, you're right. I love the different feels that you have with the Minky. It just, it feels, I guess I might have a little, autism or something, because I do find myself, self-regulating by... I will, this is so stupid, I don't know why I do this, but I will, when I'm waking up in sleep, sometimes I'll find myself doing one of these numbers where I'm running my hand on my arm, because I love that feeling. And so I don't know. Anyways, yeah.
Josh says, okay, fine, I'll label
There you go. Yes, Josh, always label your quilts. Always, always, always. Always label your quilt. Again, even if it's just a simple, good night, Norma. Even if it's a simple piece of fabric that you wrote on with a Sharpie, label your quilts.
Misty says, use some of the leftover Minky for your label and embroider on it.
Yeah. Christmas stockings. Oh, that's a good idea. Holly says, hubby gets annoyed because I have to touch and or pet things when we're in a shop. I mean, again, I'm going to go back. I've said this on the podcast. I like to fondle my fabric, and I definitely do that.
Trina Taco says, I'm waiting for Becca to give her EPP lunchbox. Have you seen my lunchbox, my EPP lunchbox?
Yeah, yep, I have seen it.
So I do want to make a EPP pouch to hold all this stuff in, and maybe then I'll think about it. But I got a metal lunchbox from Carrie Quilting when I was at QuiltCon, and I took all of these wonderful stickers and just made it fun. And so inside, oh, my magnets are stuck to the top, but all my stuff is inside. Look, do you see what's... I don't think you've seen the inside look. Mr. Bone Sews, right in the middle there.
If you haven't checked out the Mr. Bone Sews Instagram account, make sure to do that. We love Mr. Bones. I got to meet Mr. Bones back at QuiltCon. I recognize that lunchbox too, says Mary.
I stole it from him.
She didn't steal it, I gave it to her.
He had a second border kit for his puzzle mystery quilt, and I was like, can I have that?
I was like, sure. It's like, yeah, I don't need 2 of them.
Lori says, when my kids were both diagnosed with high functioning autism, they decided I was too. They use the way I feel fabric as a sensory thing.
Yep.
Josh says, oh yes, Angela, the Harry Potter love is as deep as the Lord of the Rings stuff. My husband and I hate quotes, My husband and I had quotes and subtle nods to the stories throughout our wedding last fall. Big fan. Okay, what? I want to know. Like, I need to go. I'm gonna go deep dive on his Instagram.
Are you gonna
Be
stalk
like,
his Instagram?
Yeah. Hey, if you just start seeing me randomly search a bunch of stuff, it's because I'm deep diving. It's fine. It's doom scrolling on.
Right, exactly. Watch out, Josh. Tonight, she's gonna go lay in bed, and she's just like all these hearts are gonna start coming in on your Instagram.
You guys, I gave up Facebook this week.
She did.
So my only social media outlet is like YouTube, but
a little bit on
do
Instagram.
TikTok. I won't do TikTok right
Yeah.
now. So Instagram. So I'll scroll on Instagram, but the political posts were too much, and I don't want to get into it, but they are just too much. So, and it's not just one party or the other. It's just everybody hates each other. Everybody just feels like they hate each other, no matter who wins. And I'm tired of seeing it. So I thought, okay, well, I could unfriend a few people, but what do I do on Facebook? Nothing. I use the Facebook groups, so I don't need friends and I don't need a newsfeed. I can't delete the account because my So Becca page is there and I want to keep that up and running.
Yep.
And I have the Facebook group that I'm not getting rid of, and I want to still participate in some of the groups, but I don't want to be friends with a bunch of people that I don't talk to. If I know you, I have ways to connect with you in other ways. So I went through and removed every single friend. I changed my name. Yeah, I dropped
me
my
every
last
time.
name, and I changed my profile picture. I was just like, peace, check please, I'm out. And I have never felt more free. We'll see how long it lasts. But for right now, I'm like, yeah, whatever, I don't care.
Alrighty. So
I like that, Mary. Come live with me. Mary says, I'm thinking about just going ahead and retiring and collecting Social Security now. Well, you know what? The one thing you'll never get back is time.
that's the truth. That's
And then
the
that
truth.
could let you start, you have a dream of having a quilt shop and running an online store. That could be something you get into.
Is drop off. Yes. Okay.
Several friends only do the groups. That's what I just migrated to just doing the groups.
Yep.
I'll talk to people on Messenger and I'll just do the groups, but I don't want anything to do with the profile. I don't want anything to do with anybody else's profile. I don't want anything to do with the newsfeed, because it's always arguing and crying and bickering and name calling. And I don't know when a bunch of 40-some-year-old adults started acting more immature than my 14-year-old.
What's funny is I will be just winding down in the evening, and sometimes I'll get bing, bing, bing from you sending me Instagram.
I just send Instagram. Like, I doom scroll.
Yeah.
So at night before I go to bed, I'll pull out my phone and I'll doom scroll. I like to watch the reels.
Yep.
And it's always like the same type of reels.
Yeah.
I like the dancing ones. I like the funny ones.
Yep.
I like the ones with poppy music. So,
It just cracks me up because
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Becca's in bed.
yep. And then when I wake up in the morning, if it's the weekend, I'll doom scroll a little bit. And then that's it. Like, I don't usually do it during the day. Gosh, the project that I've been on, I haven't had time to do much of anything. Like, I didn't even schedule the live stream until like 5 minutes before it happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I feel like I have just ran away from the whole rest of the world because I don't have time to do any of these things that I want to do. But I got to tell you, I am loving the project that I'm on, and it's definitely making me feel like it's making me feel fulfilled. I'm just staying very, very busy. And by the time my workday is done, I don't have much energy for people or anything else. So looks good.
Yep. It's a little wonky. The left side's a little higher than the right, but that's okay. Ian, table runner is sandwiched and ready for quilting. Awesome. You know what, Misty? The other day, I was getting ready to do, because I quilted, oh, it's at home. I quilted the Cozy Posy triangle quilt
Oh my
that
God.
I did. And
That quilt.
And you know what though? I'm super proud of that quilt because it has biased edges everywhere. and I only got about 3 pleats in it, and mostly at the bottom. So I am so incredibly proud of myself because I did that one from beginning to end and was able to only get a few pleats in it. It wasn't very many at all, so.
Oh, by the way, that Facebook thing, I just want to go back to that for a minute because I know some of my viewers have friended me on Facebook and I had accepted them and I was like, okay, fine, that's fine. Like I'm an open book, that's whatever. So the reason why I brought that up, I forgot to tell you, I forgot to bring it back around.
To finish the story, yeah.
Right, need to finish the story. The reason why I brought it back up, or the reason why I brought it up is because if you were a friend of mine on Facebook and you log in and I am not your friend anymore, it is nothing personal. I just don't want to deal with that anymore. I don't want I don't want to get overly political and I want to stay very neutral here. The issues that I'm seeing this election are the same type of issues that I saw 4 years ago when a different party got elected. It's not about whether I have friends that are pro-Trump or pro-Biden or any of that. It is instead about the name calling and the bickering and the inability to talk to one another and understand where each other is coming from. And I don't want to hear it anymore. I just can't. For my own mental health, I cannot be a part of that anymore. I know what I think, I know what I feel, I know what I believe. I vote accordingly, and I'm just keeping it to myself. And now I'm done. No more. We're not talking about it anymore. Not even going to look at the comments.
Well, what we are going to talk about is another enabler alert.
Oh, God.
Because Jean says, Ian, there are 2 patterns on Missouri Star Quilt Company that may look good for your jelly roll. And digital patterns are $3 right now. 1 pinwheels on point and 2 desert sunset. I'll have to check that out. Oops, I'm scrolling. Your scroll wheel is opposite of mine.
Yeah,
and I always
make it like Windows.
Yep.
I don't like it like Mac.
I actually changed my work laptop. I had to go through IT, but I had to get IT to change it so that it runs like the Mac does because it was bugging me so much to switch between the two. Oh, this is coming out so good. I wish y'all could see the back of the Minky because it looks so good, and we'll show it here in a moment. We're getting really close to the end. I think we've got like maybe 2.5 more rows to go.
It's going to look so good when
I
it's
know,
done.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
And I'm so happy, I don't know who said it, but I'm so happy that they mentioned about the stretch being loaded that way.
Yep.
Because we always load with the selvages, but even with that, there's stretch and regular cotton going from selvage to selvage. That's where the stretch is.
Right.
So we don't load the cut. It's just how we've been loading it. But yeah, there's so much stretch in that cuddle. That's different.
And the cuddle, like in the regular cotton fabric, the stretch is there, but it's not horrible. It's not gonna throw you too far off. But with this cuddle, oh my gosh, that was a lot of stretch. I just love that this pattern kind of mirrors
the fabric. Yeah.
I think this was an excellent choice. In my humble opinion, I think this is such a great choice to go with.
I like watching it work. You guys, I pulled out a quilt. Oh. You're probably going to be okay. It just slid off the second thing.
Oh, okay.
I pulled out a quilt, and I had pulled out my camera, and I set it all up. So I was like, ooh, I'm going to take a time lapse of the quilt. That's what my intention was. So I turned my camera on time lapse mode, and I had it run. And I loaded the quilt, and I quilted it, and I was so excited because I had the window behind my long arm open. I had the blinds open.
So you could see when I started, it was daytime, and then it slowly got to evening, and it got dark outside. And I was like, this is going to make a really cool time lapse. And I even did like some fun things where I came in there and I was holding the dog and walking back and forth and checking it. And I was like, I can narrate, because I wanted to narrate over that footage instead of the footage that I used. And then I went and put it on my Mac. And it was like 6 hours worth of footage.
Oh my gosh. I didn't realize it was
Time
that long.
lapse down to 35 seconds.
Wow.
I was like, well, that's not going to work. And so I slowed it down because I was like, okay, well, what if I make it slow?
Yeah.
Then it looked like stop motion. And I was like, okay, I just got to redo this with a different quilt. But yeah.
All right. We're going to drop the needle. We are going to hit drag. We are going to... Oh my gosh. I just thought of the funniest reel that I could do. Because it has the drag button. What if one time I put together a short or a reel that I am working on the quilt, and then I go and I'm like, okay, time to hit the drag, and I hit the drag button, and I show
And then
up
you're
in,
like
all in drag.
I knew exactly where you were going. As soon as you're like, oh my gosh, I have an
would
idea
be
for real. I was like, I know exactly where he's going.
hilarious.
I know exactly where I know exactly
I
who
know
this is.
exactly who this is.
Sit your butt down, Ken. I love that show.
We know who the buffalo are. Just
Oh
saying.
gosh, yeah, we do.
Just saying.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Now we've come to the end of the road. I also knew who the ship was.
Yeah, you did. You called it.
You knew who...
Which one was it?
I don't remember the character.
Was it the bird? Was it a bird character?
I don't remember.
It was Barbie Night. I know that.
It was Barbie Night.
It was Barbie Night, but I can't remember what their persona was.
Yeah, I don't remember, but you knew that one.
Yeah, I did.
As soon as you figured it out, like you started screaming, I know who that is!
Well, it was funny because I'm like, it took me a moment, and I had to research it a little bit, and then I was like, oh, I know who that is! I know exactly who that is!
Yeah. We watch Masked Singer together every week. It comes out on Wednesdays, so we'll either watch it Wednesday night or the next night. So,
Yep.
could you try filming in real time and then do the post? Yeah, Midwest Book Slinger. That's exactly what I did for the video I uploaded this week.
Yep.
I just ended up recording it.
Oh, man, I'm just short.
Oh, don't you hate that? That means you're going to have to do one
I know.
more pass.
I know.
That's exactly what I did for the video this week.
I bet we're getting comments now. I watch Masked Singer too.
Tammy says, I could stay up all night watching and listening to Becca and Ian. You guys are so fun. Thank you.
Well, it's like y'all are getting a live podcast.
Yeah, that apparently is going to go for 3 hours.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Sorry.
Hey, they seem to like the 2-hour podcast, so.
I was like, we're going to kill. No. I would have lost interest. It's so hard to listen to those podcasts afterwards.
Yeah.
Because we had the conversation.
We know what we're saying. We know what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we listen to it while we are editing it too.
Yep.
And then it plays, but we want to interact with you guys in the chat. So we're usually together while we're watching that, and one of us is trying to at least respond to comments. Sleep is overrated.
True story. I'm in base mode. I keep doing that. I forget to hit quilt and take off base mode. I always hit go, and it's like, you're in base mode. And I'm like, oh shoot, of course I am. Oh, away it goes. Away it goes.
Na 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 na.
I feel like this table, I don't know why, but I feel like this table over here, it's off camera so y'all can't see it, but I feel like it keeps like going further and further. I know it's just an optical illusion and like it's not really doing that, but I feel like every time I look at the table, I feel like it's leaning a little more. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Probably because the stuff on it is all leaning.
Maybe. Maybe. I hate autocorrect. Me too, Brenda. Me too. It gets me all the time. I don't... should I tell that story? I don't know if I should.
Well, now you got to.
So one time...
One time at band camp?
One time I was working. This was at work. I worked for a science museum. And I was writing up instructions on how to complete an activity. And it was a glider that you used a styrofoam plate to make. And I typed up all the instructions and I sent it off to my boss to double check and just look over and make sure everything was good. So I did that, sent it to him. About an hour later, I get an email back from him and he said, this is really great, really like that, but I need you to go back and correct the word at the end. I think you were trying to say gentle and instead you said genital. So the sentence was give it a gentle push and instead I had written give it a genital push. Autocorrect had gotten me and it does that way to me a lot and I end up saying something completely wrong of what I meant. So he was like, thanks for the laugh though. He was a great boss. He knew I had dyslexia. He knew what was going on. But yeah, he's like, thanks for the laugh today. And I'm like, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yup. Yes, I will. I need to set up, Joan. I haven't set up my live stream. I need to do that. Right mouse input. No kidding, Barb. No kidding. Yeah, I definitely was like, oh man. Kathy says, thanks for keeping me company. Becca and Ian, almost done with Welcome Baby Mini Quilt for my new granddaughter. Congratulations. Ian, you cannot trim off. Oop, I'm going to lose that comment. Ian, you cannot trim off that last part of the quilt so the quilt will be even with the quilting. Yeah. I could do that.
But then your stitches will be...
It'll be a little wonky.
No,
so.
I just leave it alone because you're just going to see the texture.
Midwest Book Slinger says, I work at a public library. I used to work at a library too. And it's one of our nightmares to spell public with a typo on something on it. Midwest, that may have happened. That may have happened. I'm not saying that it happened, but it may have happened. Public becomes something very, very quickly on spell check. Hey, Heather. Yeah, Midwest Book Slinger. I used to work at a public library for a couple of years. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that for the most part.
I was so tired last night. I came in here and sat down.
Uh-huh.
And I started working on the binding for my unicorn quilt. And Jason went, well, Ian was here. He came over last night.
Yep.
But Jason had gone to fencing. And Zoe was upstairs. And so Ian's in here. I don't remember what you were doing. I don't think you were working on the Longarm.
No, I wasn't on the Longarm.
But I remember I sat down in the chair and I worked on some of my hand stitching for the binding for my unicorn quilt. And it was like 6:30. And I was like, I'm so tired. And he was like, oh yeah? And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to go upstairs and lay down for like 20 minutes. And he was like, oh, okay. He was like, you're not coming back. You're going to bed. And I was like, no, I'm not going to go to bed. I'm not going to go to bed. I'm not going to go to bed. And he was like, you're not coming back.
No.
And I was like, no, I won't. No, no. And so I got up and I walked out of the room and I was like, what am I doing? It's 6:30. I
Yeah.
can't go to bed. And so I took the dogs outside and I came back in here and I sat here for an hour. And I sat in the chair. Ian was working on his computer.
Yep.
I don't know what you were working on, but I know I was sitting there with my hoodie on and my hood up over
Yep.
my head. And I just kept dozing off. And so at like 7:30, I was like, okay, I'm going to bed. I went upstairs and I laid down, and I'm not kidding you. Within like 10 minutes, I was out.
Were you?
Yeah.
Wow.
And apparently Jason came home from fencing at like 8 o'clock. He said he came in and I wasn't in the sewing room. So he was like, okay, she's not in here. Maybe she's in the front room. I'll go watch TV with her.
Right.
And so he goes in the front room. I'm not in there.
Right.
And so he sits down. And he's like, well, maybe she's upstairs. She'll come downstairs in a little bit. Well, I didn't come down.
Right.
And he was like, well, I guess she's not. He went up to bed at like 9:30 like he normally does.
Right.
He said, I was passed out.
Wow.
I was like, and I did not wake up until like 8 o'clock this morning.
Oh my
I
gosh.
slept for
Wow.
12 hours.
Goodness gracious.
It was great. But the previous 2 nights I didn't sleep well.
Yeah.
So I think that's why. The night, was it Tuesday night, the night of the election? I kept waking up and checking the polls. And I just wasn't sleeping very soundly. It had nothing to do with the election. I just wasn't sleeping.
It just was one of those nights.
It was just one of those nights. And then Wednesday night, I just don't, like, I slept, but not great.
Yeah.
But then I think the allergy shots, because they upped the dosage, I think it made me more tired than I normally am.
Probably.
It knocked me out. Like I had golf balls in my arm.
Did.
Oh, it was so bad. And I'm not looking forward to it because I got to do that same shot next week.
I remember when I first got allergy shot. I do allergy drops.
It is a good sleep, Josh.
And because they had to do the initial test, and then I had to do a retest about 5 years later. Man, I remember because they did the arm first.
Yep.
And then whatever didn't react, they put it into my arm. They inject it under the skin on the arm. Oh, I hate.
When I did my allergy test.
Yep.
They did like 50 some pricks in my back.
Yep.
And then whatever reacted in the back, that was a very small amount.
Yeah.
So anything that reacted in my back, I was hypersensitive to.
Yep.
And then nothing came back as like highly hypersensitive, but a few things did, mostly mold and pollen.
Yep. Shocker.
Right? And then when they did everything else that I didn't react to at a higher dose in my arm.
Yep.
And cats and dogs were like the highest. But it turns out on the test, I'm allergic to everything except for cockroaches and horses.
Oh my gosh, which is funny because I'm allergic to cockroaches and horses. If I remember
you really?
correctly. I think I am.
Wow.
If I remember correctly, I am. And dust mites and dogs and cats and
Although the 2 dogs that I have, I know they're hypoallergenic, and I supposedly, I know that's not a real thing, because if I am not on my allergy shots or my allergy pill, a Kumu, not so much. He's a Shih Tzu, a Shih Tzu and a Poodle. More Shih Tzu than Poodle, I think, but I don't have any reaction from him.
Yeah.
But from Beetlejuice, I feel a little bit of a reaction from him.
Interesting.
And I think it's the poodle hair, because Akumu is more Maltese, is more Shih Tzu hair than poodle hair.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It is what it is, but as long as I stay on my shots, I'm fine.
Yeah. Oops, getting a little high. The good news is, when doing basting stitches, they are larger stitches, so they are way easier
Angels,
to take out.
have you checked your B/P? What is B/P?
What is B/P?
Blood pressure?
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Oh, you're doing your last row.
I am.
Well,
it might be 2.
Brenda, what does B/P stand for?
I bet it's blood pressure.
If it, Angela Christine says it's blood pressure, but I just want to make sure that that's what Brenda meant.
Pretty sure. Pretty sure.
I have checked my blood pressure. I check my blood pressure once a week.
The good news is I have 2 more rows to do, but I can do them. I don't have to advance.
Good.
So I have 2 more rows to do, but
Oh, Angela. It's not angels, it's Angela. So Angela and Brenda are talking.
Oh.
Brenda was asking Angela if she has checked her blood pressure. Okay. I read
Gotcha.
angels. I was like, oh, she's concerned about our blood pressure.
Right, yeah.
And then immediately my brain was like, is not sleeping well a sign of bad blood pressure problems?
I know.
But I do check my blood pressure once a week because I actually do have high blood pressure and I'm medicated for it, so it's under control. But I have to check my blood pressure. I try to check it at least once a week to make sure that it's still in the normal range. But good news is I take 2 pills, and one of them I've been able to start tapering off of, and I think I'll be able to come off that second pill in the next couple months. So I'm really excited about that.
This comment came in a little bit ago, and I'm just now getting the chance to get to it, but let's see where to go. Midwest Book Slinger said, hey, cool. Hi, colleague. What was your role? I was a public education specialist, so I worked in the Maker Lab. It's kind of the makerspace manager for the makerspace in that branch. And then Judy asked, so Ian, what do you do now for work? I am a instructional designer. And I teach people how to do their jobs. So there you go. Doobie doobie doo.
This next pass, you don't need the whole thing,
I know.
but you're just going to let it go anyway.
Well, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to see how it all works out. But what I can do is I can start and stop it and shift it to each section.
Or just let it do it. It's half of a row.
Yeah.
It'll go fast.
No, that's true.
I would just let it go.
Okay.
We'll just stitch into, unless you want to save more of the Mickey.
I'll let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it
go.
Don't hold me back anymore. Why did we both do that?
I don't know, but we both did. I hope everybody, that's on camera now, so on film, so everybody saw it. Whoa, my gosh. You were about this far away from me.
How many times have we done that where I've been like, oops?
I know. She wonders why I'm so clumsy, and then she hits me.
Pants are falling down.
A of V, here we come. No, just kidding.
I really like this panto. And
Me
it
too.
really doesn't look too badly off
Yeah.
kilter crafter, Ian.
It's not terrible, but I mean, it is a part of my name, so it works.
It looks good.
Let's see.
I just want to pet it.
Oh, I know.
Like, oh.
I know.
Pet,
Watch your hand. Watch your hand.
Pet. Pet. Pet.
I think
Is this going to be a giveaway tonight?
No. No. I think we do need to get that net to go over because I caught
the
it.
cone.
Yeah. I caught it trying to go under the thing again.
Okay.
So I think we need to get one of those. Let's see. You can create a new area at the bottom of your quilt and crop off any extra stitching on that last row that you don't want.
Yep. You could actually just, yep. That's actually a better idea. You want to try and do that?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not on this one.
I will test it next time.
Yep, that sounds good.
But I know exactly what she's talking about. In fact, I know I could do it and it will be fine, but I'll leave it alone.
Well, leave it alone. I'm so close. I would hate for the last thing.
Oh, Ian, I like the way you say we need to get
Yeah,
it.
right. Exactly. Exactly.
Spoiler alert, it's going to be me getting it. It's my long arm. That's his way of saying, will you please fix this? Although, even if he did offer to get it, I'd still buy it. Wasn't there something that you were like, oh, we should get, it was the clock.
Oh, yeah.
So we bought a clock and put it on the top of the shelves. And he was like, we need to get a clock so we can keep an eye on the time when we're doing our podcast. I was like, okay. And I went and bought it.
I offered to get it.
Anytime he's like, we need to get something, I'm like, okay. And I just go get it.
I offered to buy the clock. I was like, okay, hey, I'm going to go, I'm going to order the clock.
So none of that is meant to be like any shade at him.
No.
I'm just that person. I'm just like, oh, okay, got it. I'm glad I bought this panto.
Yes.
I'm glad you found this panto. I like it.
I'm glad. I was like, hey, Becca.
So I like swirlies and feathers and stuff like that. And Ian likes geometric shapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the geos a lot. But it really works with this, especially look at this pattern right here in this fabric. Oh, wait, I should actually show it on camera for everyone. So
a little bit more.
This fabric right here.
Oh, here.
There you go. That fabric right there looks almost identical to the panto. And I was like, oh, it looked like it matches so well.
What net are you referring to, Ian?
Oh, so there is a net, and I have one of them for my embroidery machine, but there's a little net that you can put over your thread, so that way it doesn't try to jump off the spool. Because what's happening is pause. Is that right? Yes, that's right. Okay. What's happening is the thread is trying to jump off the spool and will get caught under the tray. And that's when I've had several thread breaks happen when that happens. So, resume. So, I'm suggesting to Becca that we get one of those so that way it will prevent
I just look at it like any of the equipment to make the long arm run, it's my long arm. That's my responsibility. Now, if you want to buy pantos and bring them over on your own thumb drive, or if you want to bring your own batting or help offset costs for batting, that's not a problem. But the equipment to make it run, this is my investment.
Yep. And I'm okay with that.
Somebody's asking, any idea if there's an end-to-end something for a domestic?
What was
Ian's
it?
going to go pin the comment so we can see it. Hello, 100 Proof Quilter.
Are you talking about Zaza's comment? Nets with Monopoly thread?
No.
They were asking something about, is there anything for end-to-end for a domestic machine?
Oh, here it is.
Oh, the stitching popped on this.
Uh-oh. Any idea if there is an end-to-end quilting pattern like this geometric design to use on a domestic machine?
Okay, so if you go to prostitcher.com, most actual places do this. I did not know this until I started buying pantographs. Places from what's the Urban Elements, Pro Stitcher, and some of the places that sell pantographs on Etsy, they'll sell you the pantograph as a printable pantograph. So you can print it out and just stitch over the paper onto your quilt. And you could do that from any type of a machine.
Wildcat, I hope you feel better. I love this comment. Where'd it go? I'm looking for it. Hold on. I love this comment from Kathleen. She says, Ian is Art Deco and you are Art Nouveau.
Oh, okay. I don't know what Art Nouveau is, but yay!
Good night, Judy.
Good night, Judy. We're almost good night. We have one more pass, and then we got to
This
take
is
it
it.
off of the long arm
Yep.
and show you what it looks like.
This is the last pass, and then once this happens, we'll bring you up close so you can see. What? Brenda says, my cardiologist found my blocked artery with his stethoscope.
Wow.
What? Is that how? That's crazy. That's awesome. Oh, that's funny. WDE says a friend of mine had a flower shop and those nets were over some of the flowers, so she would give them to me to use for my sewing machine.
Nice.
That's awesome. But if you don't have Pro Stitcher, how do you know what's available on it? I would want to start doing quilting on my domestic. So there are a lot of printable designs out there that you can use. You can print out and you can use them on your domestic machine.
Yeah, so if you go to Urban Elements, when you look at their designs, every design I've seen on Urban Elements, you can choose whether you want the digital file for long arm quilting or the print at home file. And if you choose the print at home, that's what you can print off as many times as you need to put on your quilt and stitch over it. Now, I've never used any of that, so I don't know, I can't give you any tips on it, but I know that is such a thing. And then you can also buy pre-printed ones that come already on paper. Almost done.
He said it sounded like water running over rocks instead of a steady flow. How interesting.
Wow.
Feel like somebody has to be like really tuned in, but that's crazy. Good on him. Almost there, everyone. It's almost there.
The whole time? The whole time?
Boop, 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 boop,
Bum,
boop.
bum. This is like Christmas morning. I have these little boxes of jewelry sitting down here that I forgot I had these little earrings and things.
Oh. Okay. Christmas morning.
Bum, ba-da-dum, bum.
Bum, bum.
Ooh, pretty. Oh, all of my... Yes, I was wondering where these went. I have so many... Jason has bought me over the years a number of different necklaces because so I have all of the pendants and I forgot I put them in this jewelry box. So I'm going to take them upstairs and put them in my proper jewelry box.
There you go.
But they were in here for a while. So I've got I've got 1 cross, 2 cross, 3 cross. I've got 4 crosses.
4 crosses just sitting there.
I've got a sewing machine one, and I've got this one. I got this one for Mother's Day. It's got a diamond on it, and then an opal because it's Zoe's birthstone.
How do you change cameras?
Oh, I forgot about that one. This cross I loved because it matched my wedding ring. Yeah, I'll have to take these upstairs. Get them all cleaned up.
Oops.
Okay. What are you trying to do?
I was trying to switch it to...
Just go to,
Just to
in the upper left. Go to, where it says 2-person, change that to Becca. There you go.
There we go. Sweet. Okay,
All
so
right,
I'm gonna...
Are we ready?
I think
Wait,
so.
hold on. Let's just cut this.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's gonna fuzz everywhere.
Don't care. We'll clean it up tomorrow.
All right. Unlock this. Grab.
Do you want to
this.
cut the sides while we're pulling it off?
Nah.
It'll be easier than crawling on the floor.
Oh, I don't mind crawling on the floor. I don't
Okay.
care. That's fine.
Do you want to cut that while it's held?
Oh, maybe.
I'll hold it over here.
Okay.
You have longer arms.
I do have longer arms. Do 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 do. Why am I singing Indiana Jones?
Get off of the quilt. Wow.
I know. I know.
Oh, shit.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. Oh my gosh. What?
Look at the front of your quilt.
I know.
It needs to be washed now.
It definitely needs to be. Oh, look at that. It's so pretty. Oh, look at that quilting pattern in there. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, look at that quilting pattern. Oh, it's not. There we go. Well, yeah, there you go. Woo, look at that. Look at that. I had more of the Jeopardy theme going on. Yeah, that makes sense.
Here you go.
Okay.
Wow, that's heavy.
It is heavy. I love it.
Okay, let's get all this blue onto the floor for the
Right, the vacuum.
robot.
The vacuum to pick up. I'm just going to set that over there. Love it. Nice. Looks great. Awesome. Fabulous. Wonderful. Fabulous. Great quilt pattern. I agree. Thank you. Put it in the dryer. I will. Thank you, guys. So gorgeous. All right. Well, we finished a whole quilt during a 12-hour live streaming session over here on Becca's channel. And if you're watching the replay, thanks for sticking around for all 12 hours, it feels
Was
like.
it 12?
I know, but if just being silly. So yeah.
Let me get all this scraped off onto the floor.
Okay. Okay. You scrape it onto the floor. Let's see here. What is everybody saying? Beautimus, love it. That quilt slaps. Thank
Slay!
you. Slay all day.
And twice on Sunday. Okay, there we go.
Stunning. I love it.
All right.
Cool.
Wow. Y'all,
The texture is amazing.
can they see the carpet?
Yes, they can. Yep, that vacuum's going to have a lot of work to do tonight.
Yes, it is. And on that note, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm pretty sure the camera's about to fall. So thank you for hanging out with us. Ian will see you on Sunday. I'll see you next week. Bye, friends.
Bye, everyone. See you Sunday, and I promise I'll make the event. Bye, everyone.
Bye.